AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. With over 3 decades of experience, former AT&T business CEO Ann Chow knows a lot about how to build an inclusive culture. Chow was the first woman of color to become a CEO in AT&T's over 140-year history. In a conversation on Bloomberg, she talked about what diversity, equity, and inclusion means to her.
Diversity is just simply a reality of the modern world, right? Every generation that comes forward becomes more and more diverse. There are many different dimensions to diversity. Equity is just about fairness, and inclusion is the topic as to why I wrote the book, right? Inclusion means widening your perspective by including everyone that is in your ecosystem, everyone, to have better performance.
Chow's new book, Lead Bigger, The Transformative Power of Inclusion, is about how to leverage inclusion beyond checking boxes. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
It's your last chance to snag Dell Technologies' lowest prices of the year before the holidays. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. This is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the hosts and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You're not put here to be a white man's footstool. You're put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. While this news broke on Friday, after I got off the air, I opted not to discuss it yesterday, that Willie Hines is stepping down as the director of the Housing Authority of the city of Milwaukee. There is controversy surrounding Willie Hines, and not for the first time. I can recall when he abruptly resigned from his aldermanic seat. At the time, he was also Common Council president, and that resignation also came on a Friday. I'll never forget it. I was broadcasting live at WNOV, and this must have been in 2016, maybe 2015 even. and I got a text message saying that Willie Hines had submitted a resignation letter. I'm not sure who he submitted it to, but we found it very unusual that, because you got to keep in mind, at the time, we thought that Willie Hines was the heir apparent to be the next mayor of the city of Milwaukee. Everybody was discussing it. It was just the next domino to fall in Milwaukee city politics, because Milwaukee city politics usually follows an easy-to-track trajectory, and Willie Hines was next up. And we all just basically resigned to the fact. I never had any issue with the guy. In fact, I worked well with him. So my first internship, which turned into my first real job out of college, was working as a community organizer in the aldermanic district in which Willie Hines at the time had just been elected to. Willie Hines beat Ife Anderson in 1996, and I started doing community organizing work in that district in 1999. In fact, that was the 17th aldermanic district. Talk about how long ago that was. That was back when Milwaukee had 17 alderpersons instead of the 15 that we have now, which is emblematic of the population that we have lost in the last 2 decades. So I had a fairly decent relationship with him. If there were community concerns or resident issues, as a community organizer, your first line of defense, you go to the alderperson, you make the necessary reports to him or her, at the time him, and then they get on the issue. Maybe it's prostitution, maybe it's loitering, maybe it's littering, whatever the case may be. So I always had a fairly decent, at least professional relationship with Willie Hines. And then his abrupt departure from not only his common council seat, but also as common council president. And no one could really figure out why. There was no reason. Why did someone just abruptly resign? Like, there was no scandal, or at least not one that we knew about. There was no malfeasance. There was no accusations. There was no sexual misconduct. Those are usually the kinds of things that gets an incumbent, heir apparent, alderman, common council president, potentially next mayor to resign, but he just disappeared. Then, of course, you had the special aldermanic election, which took everybody by surprise, because now the city of Milwaukee had to fill the seat that was vacated by Willie Hines. Russell Stamper ran. A guy named Ian Biddle also ran. Russell Stamper ended up winning that aldermanic seat by, I don't know, Russell will tell you the exact number, like 32 votes or something like that. And it was sad because less than 2,000 votes were cast in the entire election. And so Willie Hines disappears for a long time. And then all of a sudden, he appears as the director of the housing authority of the city of Milwaukee, seemingly out of nowhere. There's a rule, if not a law, that if you are employed with a unit of government, you have to step away for a period of time before you come back and do certain jobs involving that unit of government in which you resigned or retired. And maybe he was looking for a lobbying job. Maybe he was looking to do something that could have capitalized off of his many, many years at that point, years of service to the city of Milwaukee in his elected and non-elected capacities. And then he comes back as the housing director. Fairly recently, in the last probably 2 years, certainly since we've been broadcasting 1017 The Truth at the 3rd Street Market Hall, I started to receive a number of emails from all sorts of different people, from individual folk, from residents, from activists, from organizers, all funneled through an organization called Common Ground. And they were trying to raise the public profile and get more attention on the deplorable conditions at city-owned housing authority properties. And if you all remember, I did an interview with a couple of very nice ladies a couple of years ago. Well, Rhea was my producer, so whenever the hell that was, and my producer shuffle over here at 1017 The Truth. And I was just compelled by the stories these women told of the heat not working, infestations of rodents, and generally unsafe, unsanitary living conditions. And so naturally, I would ask these women, well, aren't you complaining? Isn't there somebody you call? Isn't there a maintenance man or a superintendent of the buildings? Why aren't you guys pulling your weight and making sure that these complaints are not lodged and registered? They said, oh, contraire, mon frere, Mr. Hughes. That's exactly what we have been doing, and nothing has been happening. Shortly thereafter, this must have been 2022, maybe early 2023, TMJ4 News, a local news outlet here in the city of Milwaukee, put their, I'm using air quotes here, I know she's going to get offended if she's listening, but I don't care, investigative reporter on this subject matter, because Common Ground, a nonprofit organization that does a whole bunch of things, Common Ground does everything from lobby for better insurance coverage to grassroots issues and community engagement activities. I don't even know where Common Ground's money comes from, but it seems to be unlimited because they have an organizer for every damn issue in the city of Milwaukee. And they had an organizer, I cannot remember the fella's name. He was a white fella. You always remember the white fellas that are doing the good work in the black community because there's only about 13 or 14 of them in the entire city. So as Common Ground is now using their profile to raise the temperature on what is happening at the Housing Authority of the city of Milwaukee, and it was just, I was upset by it because the taxpayers, in a roundabout sort of way, are paying for that housing for individuals. And if we as taxpayers are paying for something, it needs to be livable. That's not even... It doesn't have to be the Taj Mahal. It doesn't have to look like a Trump Tower. It's got to be livable, and it wasn't livable. And it's very disappointing because Willie Hines was the director of the Housing Authority of the city of Milwaukee. And who tells a story? Willie Hines will tell the story of how he grew up in the public housings. Is that usually the start to somebody's success? Don't you have to grow up in public housing to become successful? Didn't Ben Carson also grow up in public housing? And that's how he became the director of HUD during Trump's first term. Didn't what's the black fella? What his name is? The black fella. Tim Scott. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride when it comes to Donald Trump. Poor Tim Scott hasn't been appointed to any damn thing yet. Didn't he also grow up in public housing or some kind of subsidized living situation? Maybe that's what my problem is. Grew up in the damn suburbs. So they put Jenna Ray on the story, the developing story of the Housing Authority's substandard conditions. And as more local media attention is growing on this issue, more people are essentially coming out and telling their stories about the complaints. And then on a couple of occasions, they brought news cameras in to some of these units. My word, any one of you would have been offended. Because I immediately, if I'm detached from something and I'm not attached to public housing, but I think, well, I could have a friend, a loved one, a family member that lives in public housing, and would I want them living in those conditions? And if the answer is no, that I wouldn't want a friend, family member, or loved one living in those conditions, and I shouldn't want anyone else living in those conditions either, especially because us taxpayers are supposed to be taking care of that housing on behalf of these folk. Here's the issue that I have with how Jenna Ray cover stories. And she actually tried to do this similar technique here at 1017 The Truth with another African-American official. Sometimes these investigative reporters, to get more attention on either their work or, quite honestly, their lack of journalism, they ambush people. You guys ever see this? Like there's someone who has been accused of something. I don't know, maybe it's a bad landlord, maybe it's Willie Hines, and you'll have somebody who's a member of the media jump out with a camera crew and they stick the microphone in somebody's face unbeknownst to the individual who is accused. I don't like that because that is as bad as whatever this individual has been accused of. Ambushing somebody and putting a live news camera in their face is a recipe for disaster because that would make any human being defensive. Y'all know how it is out here in the world. If somebody jumps in your face and you're now being recorded live on television and there's a microphone in your face and they're asking you all of these pointed questions and requiring you to answer them. And if you just choose to keep walking, it makes you look even more like a villain, even though there's just accusations that have been levied against you. Now, here's the issue with Jenna Ray and how she covered it. Jenna Ray is a blonde white woman. And so she jumps out in front of people, oftentimes black men. She tried to do it with Aisha Carr. Aisha Carr was here discussing school board matters probably, earlier this year. And Jenna had texted me. It's like, hey, Sherwin, how long is Aisha Carr going to be at the studio? And I responded back to her. I was like, I'm not sure how long she's going to be here. Next thing I know, Jenna Ray is out in our little common area. Same thing. Camera crew and a microphone about to ambush Aisha Carr. So what we did, I might have told you guys this story, is Jenna's texting me because she's out in the little common area. Oh, Sherwin, are you almost done with your interview? I'd like to have a couple of words with Aisha Carr. And I'm thinking to myself, my ass you are. You're not going to embarrass a member of my community for your own lack of journalistic integrity. We don't do that. If you want to schedule an interview with somebody, you schedule an interview. You don't ambush somebody like that. That's a recipe for disaster. But see, here's the thing about that. If a black man like Willie Hines would have gotten defensive and taken a defensive posture or stance against Jenna Ray, who jumps out with a camera crew and a damn microphone, then he would look like some woman-beating abuser. And they do it on purpose, and it makes me sick. So she tried to do the same thing to Aisha Carr, because, Aisha Carr was dealing with, and still probably is, a little bit of controversy. And Zach actually helped me sneak Aisha Carr. We have a side door. We got a little sneak door. Before you get to our studio here at 101.7, we got a little side door. Takes you outside by the parking garage, a little side, like a loading dock door. And so we snuck Aisha Carr out the side door. So Aisha was gone. Aisha was clear. And then I walked out to the common area, and I see a stunned Jenna Ray with her microphone and her camera crew. I said, hello, Jenna, how are you? Well, Sherwin, where's Aisha Carr? Oh, she's gone. She left. And I turned around. I flipped my wig, shook my hair, and I turned around and let Jenna Ray see my back. While I do agree the problems at the housing authority of the city of Milwaukee need to be addressed, putting all of that on Willie Hines as an individual, I think, is a little bit unfair. Another thing they're trying to do is they're trying to attack Willie Hines for the pension that he is getting. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back. And we're going to talk about the pension that Willie Hines is getting. And so people think that if they don't like something, okay, and you were a part of the something that they didn't like, but while you were a part of the something that they didn't like, this something that they didn't like is an institution. And if you were a part of an institution that they didn't like, and then they come to find out, oh, you get to retire and you get all of this money per month because of your pension and your contribution to your retirement, sometimes people that are angry at the institution believe that we have the right, the ability, and the authority to punish the individual who's just a part of a flawed institution. A lot of today's show is going to be dedicated to a topic that is a bit controversial in names, called revolution. There's one happening right now. Problem is, Americans are so stuck in their day-to-day lives, they don't quite recognize it. I'm going to illustrate to you how we are in the middle of a revolution right now in this country and give you 3 poignant examples of why you are in the midst of a revolution, but you do not recognize it because people are realizing that our institutions here in America are completely failing us. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Come in with straight truth.
We have to make sure that when we talk about making change, when you talk about vote, when you talk about these elections, when you talk about how we're going to get ahead, we definitely got to start paying attention to the local process, because these are the processes that are governing our lives.
Yes.
And they got you looking across the street down
Absolutely.
At Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. They got you looking at Project 2025, but you barely got money to stay alive.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
a.m.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year, 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Truth Nation, there's a critical need for more African-American blood donors in Milwaukee, and we want to encourage you to help save lives by donating blood.
This is why we ask you to join us on Friday, December 20th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we have partnered with Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin for a blood drive with your favorite truth shows broadcasting live on site.
Come watch Truth Be Told with Telly, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and Jam with Juice with Ben Jamin and Carrie Mahone Juice, live from the Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin.
That is right, y'all. So join us on Friday, December 20th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. for our Truth Blood Drive. Winter is here. Don't let your car care take a back seat. Protect your car against rust, salt, and grime this season at Tsunami Express Car Wash. Tsunami Express makes cleanup a breeze with state-of-the-art wash technology, powerful free vacuums, and convenient unlimited wash memberships. Try their new best-in-class T2 with graphene wash for the ultimate long-lasting shine and protection. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com.
After an accident, don't wait to get the help you need. Call Gruber Law Offices first. There is no fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Willie Hines, the director of the Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee, announced on Friday he was stepping down. Something about Fridays that Willie Hines likes, because when he stepped down from his Common Council president position and the alderman of at the time it was the 15th district. When he got elected in 96, it was the 17th district. He did that on a Friday too, and it was Friday at like noon. Usually if you want to drop some really heavy news, big news, controversial news, and you wanted to get the least amount of coverage, the least amount of speculation, the least amount of conspiracy. We love conspiracy. I got some conspiracy for you today, too, as I'm going to try and illustrate to you how we are in the midst of a revolution and people have just lost faith in institutions. The guy that killed Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, Luigi, what his name is? He's got the one that killed a man. His last name is Mangione. Reminds me of Chuck Mangione. So they caught him at a McDonald's. I don't want to get sidetracked too much because we're talking about the Willie Hines story, but it's just this weird how they caught the guy. They caught him in Pennsylvania, the one that shot the Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. I did a little digging on United Healthcare. Oh my God, the way they are denying claims, I can understand the anger. People have lost faith in that institution as well. We are losing faith in our health insurance providers. What is happening with the Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee, even though the aldermen under the leadership of Jose Perez, I think they've taken a little more responsibility for the conditions of the city-owned properties with the housing authority, even though federal money is supposed to be allocated to it, to maintaining the properties. There has been some accountability on the city, but they still haven't fixed the problem. But the institution of taking care of people who are housing insecure is another institution that has failed. Because if they don't have public housing, and we've had this conversation before, this is why I miss Al, because Al always has very strong opinions on public housing. And I like to challenge Al on his opinions on public housing, because Al doesn't want public housing anywhere because he is, and a lot of you are too, whether you admit it or not, it's the people. You don't like the people. You don't like the people that are involved in public housing. Well, that's a separate conversation. But in this nation, we have to provide shelter for people. Because if we don't provide shelter for people, because living on the streets will make you nuts. I don't know how it just doesn't make you nuts your first night on the streets. The first night on the street might be a bit of a party. Like, oh, I'm out here free. The world is my bedroom. And then it probably sucks when it gets cold out. But if we have an unhoused population, the likelihood that they will interact with the police is high. The likelihood that they may interact with a vigilante also high. The likelihood that they may be killed on New York City public transportation is high. The likelihood they may be killed by out of jurisdiction Ohio cops during the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee is also high. So we have to do something about those individuals who are unhoused. Can't just let people live on the street because they're going to die on the street. Some conservative justices created a ruling that says cities have the ability to arrest and detain and legally pursue people that are homeless. I don't know if I talked about the ruling. I knew that ruling would come up in other contexts, but when it came out, I don't know, a few months ago, earlier in the summer, I don't know if I discussed it then. I was going to wait until there was actual context to the ruling. So what the court did essentially is it said, well, it's not illegal to be homeless, okay? And the court they tried to write some level of sympathy into the ruling, like, oh, homelessness is a problem in America, and it's very sad, and we need to make sure that we are doing things to prevent the homeless population, blah, 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 blah. So they said, well, homelessness is not a crime, but someone being on the street and loitering and being visible in spaces where they shouldn't be visible, that is a crime, and now cities can arrest people for simply that. But at the same time, the court made sure to say, oh, but homelessness is not a crime itself. But the act of being homeless is. Willie Hines, the director of the Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee, or HACM, announced on Friday he was stepping down. Hines said he is retiring. This comes after years of criticism from HACM residents, local nonprofits as well, calling for change, and even city aldermen. Over the last 2 years, TMJ4's Jenna Ray has done countless investigations into Hines and HACM. Now she dives into Hines' pension and the large pension payout that will float him into retirement and the rest of his life. So I'm trying to figure out from a journalistic perspective, what is the point of going after Willie Hines' pension? When you work for a level of government for 30 years, you're going to get a pension. See, I don't like what this woman is doing. She's trying to engender anger over like a one black man. And maybe Willie Hines didn't do his job. Hell, I don't know. I wasn't there with him. I wasn't in the gym shooting with him. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he was doing his job and nobody cared. Maybe he wasn't doing his job. Maybe none of it was his fault. Maybe all of it was his fault. Maybe he infested the whole housing authority complexes with the rats and the roaches and the roaches and the rats and the mice. You know that mice can like get into an area the size of a dime? Did you know that mice can like flatten their bodies out? It's really crazy. It's insane how versatile and flexible mice are. But to say, oh, Willie Hines is going to get $11,000 a month for his pension, and then trying to, like, what are you suggesting? That he shouldn't get a pension because there were allegations and accusations against a failed institution like public housing, and so now Willie Hines shouldn't get the money that he has probably paid in and the city has paid in on his behalf for 30 years of service? This is why people hate the damn media. The focus of going after Willie Hines' pension loses focus on what I thought this investigative reporter was seeking, the truth about the failed institution of public housing, because at the end of the day, whether Willie Hines gets his pension or not, which he's going to get, whether you think he deserves it or not, I guess that's a you problem. How does that help the victims who are in substandard housing that the taxpayers are on the hook for? We'll take a break, come back, continue our conversation. Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Do you or anyone you know live in housing authority housing here in the city of Milwaukee? And if so, have they made any complaints, and have any of those complaints been rectified? Because now with Willie Hines being gone, it's almost like changing superintendents with MPS. You have one superintendent there, they're not doing anything to make the kids read and to do the math better, and you get rid of that superintendent, and then you get another superintendent, and they're not helping anything to make the kids do the reading and the math, and then we hate them too. So whoever's going to be the next director of the Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee is likely going to get the exact same ire that Willie Hines got. But here's the difference. If they put a white person at the head of HACM, then you won't see the controversy. Then Jenna Ray won't be attacking this person with microphones and cameras. Watch, I bet you. When white folks are ahead of an institution that fails black people, it's the black people's fault. But if it's a black person that's at the head of an institution that was a failure before black people were even allowed to be in that institution, we blame the black person. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Saving energy and money is easier than you think. Here are 2 simple things you can do to reduce your energy use and lower your energy bill. Use thermal curtains to reduce each room's energy loss by up to 25%, and make sure vents aren't blocked by furniture or rugs to improve airflow and comfort. Simple, smart savings. Get more energy-saving tips at WeEnergies.com.
Milwaukee Class of 2025. Is your wish to win a laptop and a $1,000 scholarship? If so, Greater Milwaukee Urban League's Laptop and Scholarship Awards program is now accepting applications. Visit tmul.org and fill out the application today. The application deadline is Tuesday, January 14th at 4 p.m. So don't wait. Apply today at tmul.org. If you qualify, you can apply for both a laptop and a $1,000 scholarship. Greater Milwaukee Urban League's Laptop and Scholarship Awards is amazing. So visit tmul.org today.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 101.7 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
An integrated strategy, including infrastructure, community involvement, education, enforcement, and legislative reforms. Yeah, we've kind of heard that before already. It can correct pretty much anything, right? They use it for everything except reckless driving in Milwaukee. I want you to consider this now. Expand the number of police officers in neighborhoods where reckless driving is happening, punish with fines, extended license suspensions, use speed and red light cameras. We need to inform people about the repercussions of reckless driving, and then we need to follow through with punishment. We need to continue to build speed bumps, roundabouts, narrow the lanes to help traffic slow down. And while you're at it, designate some space for bicycles and pedestrians only. We need to encourage the use of mobile apps to report reckless driving since you're on your phone anyway. And finally, promote local and state legislation that successfully combats irresponsible driving. Yeah, we've heard that before, but no. Just enforce the laws we already have on the books. And by combining this, Milwaukee drivers can enjoy a safe environment that lowers reckless driving, all the risks that come with it. Why? Well, this needs to be the Common Council and the city's primary focus. So perhaps next time there won't be that, dead on arrival traffic bill in Milwaukee Common Council or that traffic bill in state legislature. But then if you're driving, you might want to be careful. I mean, the next thing that's dead on arrival could be you.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. Talking about these failed institutions here, and instead of looking at the institution itself and how we collectively can improve its performance, or in some cases we got to tear it down. And that's what's happening right now before our eyes. I would argue, and I would argue this with great success, that the re-election of Donald Trump was more a revolutionary act than a political one. And in a smaller case, it was a revolutionary act of those who do not have a lot of power in day-to-day life. But when it comes to elections and voting and presidential elections and this really, really heavy burden placed upon the strong backs of African Americans, some that feel very powerless in their day-to-day lives felt very empowered, felt like they were put in a spotlight that they often don't get, because people don't get put in a spotlight for their everyday struggles. If that was the case, everyday struggles would be spotlighted and we would be focused on eliminating some of those struggles. But it's only when you're needed. We need you, black people, to vote for Kamala Harris. Let me be clear. I voted for her. And had I could have done so legally, I'd have voted for her twice. But it's against the law, and I'm not trying to get that felony because that's a dumb felony. If you're going to get a felony, get a good one. You know what I mean? Get one that comes with a story. Not, I voted for Kamala once, and I drove to Gary, Indiana, and voted for her again. Now I'm going to prison for 5 years. That's not a good story. There are some people that were trying to tell us, and they've been trying to tell us in a bunch of different ways, that institutions are failing us. I could see how somebody could say the Democratic Party is failing us. They compromised too much. They made a bunch of promises. They couldn't keep them. I can hear people, even though I should tune them out. I should tune them out. Those that didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris because they didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice in the Democrat. And I would argue they made that choice in 2020 when they elected Joe Biden and her. But people want unlimited choice. You have unlimited choice now. Remember when you went to the gas station back in the day and all you had was Coke, Pepsi, Tab, and Mountain Dew? Now you got 30 different brands of water. I wish somebody would have sold bottled water in the 80s. We'd have laughed at. Y'all understand that water came from two places in the 80s? The faucet in your house and the hose outside. That's the only places water. You didn't buy water. It's like buying a pet rock. So people that felt very powerless said, I'm going to do an act of rebellion, an act of revolution as a black person, man or woman. We don't really talk much about some of the black women that may have voted for Trump. They want to do this act of defiance because they don't believe in the institution of our democracy because it has not helped certain people. In fact, it has helped to keep certain people down. And I get it. And I could very easily call those that voted for Donald Trump most recently someone that set ablaze the sanctity of American democracy. So I should not be engaged in conversations with the arsonists because they are the ones that brought Donald Trump back, knowing who he is, knowing how he is, knowing the allegations, the accusations, and the felonies, knowing January 6th, knowing the impeachments. They brought him back anyway. If we don't see that as an act of revolution, then we are blind. Revolution does not look like it did in the history books. And plus, a lot of that stuff, I don't believe anything that they told me as far as history goes. I don't believe any of it. I don't. I think it was a story that was written to be age appropriate for children in a way that engenders very strong patriotism and subdues the sinister actions of our government. And so I don't believe it. Because think about this now. If you want to be honest and factual and you want to be true to people, including children with age-appropriate reading materials, now they want to ban the books. So it's like either you tell the story that makes America look perfect, or we won't allow you to tell the story at all. Let me get back to Willie Hines here. Quote, rats and roaches and bed bugs on a daily basis, resident Betty Newton said. It's conditions Newton and hundreds of other Hackham residents say they've been living with for years. There's also no reason why a city this size, with the amount of funding that we have, that we should not be in better shape, Newton added. While I would agree, let me be fair now. Because it's not always about every single person who's living in public housing is this victim. There are victims of substandard housing and lack of funding and maybe a lack of political will. Because here's the other thing, y'all. The political system is watching you. They're watching you. And if you do not vote, you're not a threat. Meaning you can make threats, but they're not real. Because and I've said this, I don't know how many times, it don't resonate. Just like Kamala Harris saying she wanted to help you buy a house with down payment assistance didn't resonate as much as they're eating the dogs and eating the cats. How come, the Haitians, they stopped eating dogs and cats? How come I haven't heard anything about them dining on felines and canines? How come we're not hearing about that anymore? Remember a few months ago? That's all we heard about. They're eating the dogs and the cats. They're eating them very much. They're putting ketchup and A1 on the dogs. Not hearing about that anymore. How ironic. When I just step back and look at how insane all this stuff is, it just... Quote, I just don't understand why you can't do an on-camera interview with us. We've asked for an on-camera interview several times. Why will you only respond to questions in email? Jenna Ray asked Hines in December of 2023. If I was him, I wouldn't respond to her either. Because all she wants to do is ambush. And I don't like the dynamic of it. You put this blonde white woman in a position where she is basically offending an African-American man. And if that African-American man wants to defend himself, then he looks aggressive. And then you can make Willie Hines look even worse because you can pin all the things that are going on and hack them on him. And then if he gets defensive because this white woman with blonde hair, who's built like a linebacker, so Willie Hines is a small guy. He very well could be intimidated by Jenna Ray. She's like 6'5". I know that's not going to go over well, but it's the truth. I just don't like the dynamic of it. Because if Willie Hines got in her face like, yo, leave me alone. I don't want to talk about this. I will give you a written response. And Willie Hines also had to be very, very careful because if he says something out of anger or out of emotion, then he can get sued for that. And they know that. So you ambush somebody, put the white woman with the camera and the microphone, and you try and you ambush a black man. You know, we as black men don't like to be snuck up on. Can't sneak up. I don't advise that. We're already on edge. They wanted to make Willie Hines look more like a villain, and they're also trying to put and pin all of the, I'm going to call them deplorable, not all of them. Some housing, public housing is nice, but the worst of the worst are trying to put that on Willie Hines. But also, if you can decimate his character by ambushing him, catching him off guard, and maybe catching him in a moment where he's not ready to be ambushed, and if he responds emotionally, then you make him look like a bully, bullying the 6'7" white woman. Willie Hines is like 5'6". Sorry, Willie, if you're taller than that. He's not a very big and imposing man. He's got a loud voice, though. But the dynamic was troubling. But I don't want to make every single person who lives in public housing like the victim. There's some people that live in public housing that brought roaches. Can we just be honest about that? Not all of them, but some of them. This is what they say. if you have an infestation of roaches where you live, if you can't get rid of them, then move, but leave everything behind. Leave your furniture, leave your clothes, because the roaches will have eggs and the ability to reproduce in the new place that you go to. So if you have roaches in your furniture in one property and you bring that furniture with little roach eggs to your new property, lo and behold, you brought an infestation. But then now it is the responsibility of the housing manager, the owner of the housing, and hack on Milwaukee Public Housing to get rid of the roaches. And some of these people brought the roaches. I do not want to be on this microphone this morning and say that every single person that lives in public housing is a victim. Some of them are offenders. So I'm going to take a break, come back. We'll talk to the town on the other side. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, we have big news. Mark your calendars for Friday, February 28th, as we will be hosting our first annual Truth Community Awards, celebrating individuals making a real difference in our community. This can't-miss event will honor the excellence in our community and recognize the quiet warriors creating extraordinary impacts. Tickets go on sale soon, and you won't want to miss this night of inspiration and celebration. See you Friday, February 28th at the Truth Community Awards, presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel.
Sometimes it takes a breakdown to have a breakthrough. And at Vinbecker Recovery, they understand the power of having real support while you're on that journey to recovery. This is why at Vinbecker Recovery, they customize treatment plans specific for your needs. Vinbecker Recovery provides our community and anyone looking for help with access to mental health care and recovery support, helping you treat addiction. So whether opioid abuse, alcohol, or other controlled substances, Vinbecker Recovery helps you get back to the lifestyle that you know will be the best option for your future. Vinbecker Recovery offers licensed counseling and therapy services to curb the mental health problems that have been impacting our communities for far too long. They provide services like medication-assisted treatment, outpatient care, and hub and spoke services with peer support. So what are you waiting for? Vinbecker Recovery accepts walk-ins and appointments. It's just that easy. Just visit VinbeckerRecovery.com. That's VinbeckerRecovery.com. They're here to help you win the day.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Backed by popular demand, Shawnee's Exquisite Catering is once again taking your holiday gathering to the next level. And not only are they bringing back their traditional holiday meals, but they're adding something new and just as delicious: seafood dressing. And of course, they'll have their family meal deal. Book now for fresh, flavorful dishes that will make your holiday season unforgettable. Pickup and delivery is available as well, so all you have to do is enjoy your holiday. Contact Shawnee's Exquisite Catering at 414-216-3469. Happy holidays.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Let's talk to the town. The town, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm good. What's on your mind?
was listening to you this morning when I was going, handling my business, handling my business, and I do know people that's in that building right there, and it's atrocious, to put it lightly.
Which building?
Come in.
It's about 100 of them.
The one on, what is that? 35th, and like on the way to Wisconsin. Like, it's not Wisconsin. What's that? Highland.
Okay.
35th Highland.
All right.
Yeah, I went over there, and one of my friends who I went to high school with, his mom stays up in there, and she was one of the people that spoke about the inhumane conditions that's going up in there, and I would say this: if you are Mr. Hines grew up in public housing, then you know how dirty they can get and how grimy that can get. And on top of the fact that this guy has been in the game for so long, I don't buy the thing that you're talking about with the white lady on WTNJ, because if you was fresh, if you was like Cavalier Johnson, I would understand. But Hines been up in there since I was a little kid. Been in power or whatever like that. So you should know how to handle yourself in front of all the media, especially this local media. It shouldn't. I wouldn't think that if that lady ran up on him and been like, "Mr. Hines, what's going on with all the roaches and all the what's the name down there in that building?" I think he should have the knowledge, the experience, and the wherewithal to answer them questions correctly to the best of his ability, and the way that he should, in the way he wants the message to come out, because he's been in the game for 30 years. So he knows about tone and tenor and shaping the narrative or whatever like that, even if it might be on some gotcha journalism, like, "Hey, I'll catch you on the street. What's going on?" Or like how the white woman tried to do it up in your building right there. He should be prepared for that. So he don't get no pass on that. And like I said before, he don't get no pass because he's been there for so long. You've been there for so long, and you've been in the leadership. And if you know if you grew up in that, you know exactly how it is. Exactly how it is. So you can't play he can't play the white woman, black dude trying to go against a black man and try to make him feel uncomfortable and all that narrative. He can't do that because you've been up there too long, bro. and these leaders, and furthermore, these leaders of these organizations are the problem. I don't think the organizations is the problem. The housing ain't the problem. The guy that got killed in New York, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not. I mean, it is a problem, but the moral problem I think is the leadership. We having poor leadership all the way around the board. They're not thinking about the best interest of the of everybody. They just, in this case, guy in New York, he's thinking about his shareholders. He was going to a shareholder meeting, so he died literally telling his shareholders, "Okay, this is how we gonna make more money off of." What's the words he put on the bullets? Deny, depose, and whatever. He put 3 words, but them words are the words that the United Healthcare uses every time they try to deny you.
Okay.
And then they kill millions of people. And like I say, and now go to Hines. Hines, bro, you've been here for a long time. You know how we go. You've been in the hood. You know what's going on.
Because he has been there and he grew up in public housing, he's been doing it for a long time, do you think that one person has the power to change and fix everything? And also, here's the thing. It's not like he wasn't answering the media's questions. He was just doing it via email. So they just didn't like that he was responding to the questions in a way where he could be much more accurate. They wanted to catch him in his face and catch him off guard. So, because here's the thing, the reporting that they did, brother, was not even about actually helping the people. It was trying to make it seem like it's Willie Hines' fault when the entire institution of public housing needs to be overhauled. And I don't care how long somebody has been at any job in any position. It is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to upend an institution. You can't. You do what you can on a day-to-day basis, and you make the best with what you have. But to blame him, I think, is unfair. And that's exactly what they were trying to do, because none of her focus has been on actually helping the residents. She only sat and talked with the residents when she told the residents how much money Willie Hines was going to be making per month in his pension, so they could get even more mad at him. That does nothing to fix any of the conditions. And so I don't like the place that she is coming from as a journalist. But because it's not about the people.
It may be. I understand that. And it gets kind of dirty because that woman, she wants her ratings or whatever like that. Willie Hines wants his money because everybody wants their money when they work. So I don't knock that. Only thing that I'm knocking is that you can't say that you didn't know. It's impossible.
No, you knew.
This city is too small, and you been knew about that. So this heat is coming to Willie Hines. I think it's all to the good because you could have fixed that. You could have fixed that. I don't know how because that's out of my pay grade.
So I do appreciate your call, the time, but I gotta take a break. So here's the other thing that actually happened. So you have some resident complaints, and I'm not sticking up for what the housing authority did or didn't do. You have a list of contractors that are supposed to go in and address these issues. So what do you do if the contractors don't show up? Like who do you blame for that? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's good, y'all? This is 1017 The Truth's Telly Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. The goal of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is to provide a platform for citizens of Milwaukee and Truth Nation to have their voices heard about concerns that have daily, direct impact. So join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture. Truth Nation, let us take a second to brag for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like President Joe Biden.
Black child poverty was cut in half in 2021. We built black wealth, 15 million jobs nationwide, more than 2.5 million for black Americans. Black wealth is up 60% since the pandemic.
Former President Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump.
Guys, we almost had a former president and very likely future president assassinated on live TV. Like, you know what that would have done for this country? You know what that would have made our country look like? We would look like a banana republic.
And Brewers All-Star and former National League MVP Christian Yelich.
Listen, you already know.
Yeah, we got we were just in LA, so we heard our fair share of Kendrick out there in LA. Dodger Stadium has one of the best sound systems in baseball too.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app, listening live on 1017thetruth.com, and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions, get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
For some children, a single surgery can turn an untreated cleft into a smile for life. But at Smile Train, we understand that most children need a little extra care. They need medical, dental, and emotional resources to grow healthy and strong, to express themselves clearly, and to navigate all of life's challenges so that their smiles light up the room as brightly as possible. Visit smiletrain.org to learn how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community with lifelong smiles.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Talking about this situation at the Housing Authority and how much to blame is Willie Hines. How much can one man do to fix a problem with a broken institution? And it is the institutions that are broken. And because we sometimes either fail to realize that, or we can recall a time when institutions like, I don't know, public housing used to work, where religion in the church was much more a significant part of daily life and people were just happier. Or we can remember when our politicians were honest and democracy actually worked and things were much more prosperous. But now it doesn't seem to be the case. These institutions are failing us. And because we're either intimidated or don't know that it's the institution itself that's the failure, we just go after the individual person. You don't look at how we need to revamp the entire healthcare system. Just shoot the CEO. You didn't like Kamala Harris. You don't like the democracy. You don't like that the Democrats have made a whole bunch of promises they couldn't keep. Instead of being much more engaged and involved in the 4 years in between elections, just vote for Donald Trump again. Because let me be clear about Trump. He wants to destroy the institutions as well. And for someone who is not politically sophisticated, that says, you know what, this ain't working for me. Government's not working for me. They're not helping me. Same problems I got now, I got 20 years ago. Government has not come to my aid. In fact, the government owes me more and they're giving me less. So the government ain't working. Then Donald Trump comes in and says, it's not working for me either. Try to put me in jail. The FBI director, Christopher Wray, that Donald Trump appointed, that Joe Biden kept. Donald Trump is now going to fire Christopher Wray, who is the person selected by Donald Trump when Trump was in office the first time. And the reason that Trump is giving for firing Christopher Wray is because he thinks that Christopher Wray invaded his house. Because you know Trump got Mar-a-Lago, they searched Mar-a-Lago. That's where they found all the classified documents in the bathroom. You can go see pictures of it on the internet. And Trump thinks it's Christopher Wray that put the agents up to that. No, Donald, it was evidence that put the agents up to that because they can't just go in your house without probable cause and without a warrant. But Trump wants to tear down these institutions. If you do a little research on a guy named Kash Patel, who will lead the FBI if Donald Trump gets his way, and I think Trump is going to get his way, the FBI, what we know of the FBI, will be completely and utterly destroyed. And I can see how that, destroying the FBI, could obtain a sympathetic African-American audience because we know that COINTELPRO surveilled Black Panthers and actually led to the death of several of them. We know that the FBI surveilled Dr. Martin Luther King and did all sorts of things diving into his private life and talked about the affairs that he had with women, which is true. I mean, we elevate Dr. King to the position of saint because he is. He's the greatest American that's ever lived. Fight me on it. Find me a better American than Dr. Martin Luther King anywhere. You can't. Best American ever. Except for maybe Emmanuel Lewis that played Webster. He was such a sweetheart. He was like a little baby, but he was actually like 30 years old. Remember Emmanuel Lewis from Webster? America's little chocolate sweetheart. But Dr. King had a problem with hoes. I guess I can't say that word. Even though he was a wonderful man, the greatest American that ever lived, he had some vices. Abraham Lincoln said, this to me is the most profound thing that Abraham Lincoln ever said. A man without vice is a man without virtue. Another profound quote said by, ironically, another Republican was Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon said, "Others may hate you, but when you start to hate others, you begin the process of destroying yourself." Oh, profound. And then Nixon went on to resign and get impeached. Let's talk to Security Mike. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, Sherwin?
Going pretty good.
Man, how you just put it, with the Cash Patel leading the FBI?
Yes.
And the cabinet Trump's putting in place, man, we in trouble, man. We in big trouble. On that one caller, I don't agree with someone rolling up on Hines, like asking him what's going on with the roaches or bed bugs. Man, if that were me, I would have just said, man, we're working hard on trying to find a remedy. And that's all he can. That's basically all he can say. Don't you know, man, growing up, it's people bringing roaches and bed bugs. People that's moving in. I got an uncle's crib I don't like going by because he got roaches. Now, if he pack up and move and take that same furniture to the next place, they're going to have roaches in that building. Now, I would agree that some of these dwellings probably have, roaches and bed bugs, but it's people moving in, bringing that stuff in there, man. What can he do? And then when Trump got in his cabinet to run HUD, is that going to make a difference? Because it's not all on Willie Hines, and I know Willie personally, him and his brother, both of those guys who played a lot of basketball with. And that's all he can do, Sherwin.
I know.
But, man, we in big trouble, man. We in big trouble. There ain't going to be no guardrails on nothing, man. When you think you can protest and all that stuff now, Trump want people shot in the legs if they think they're going to protest. Stuff like that. Stuff like what another host always talking about, I'm an advocate and I do this and that. You ain't going to be able to do none of that. You ain't going to be able to do none of that with Trump.
All right.
Do you agree?
Kind of. I can't give anything definitive, Security Mike, because I don't know what to expect. Nobody knows what to expect. I can only speculate. I can only guess wildly. But I do know that the protesting is a part of American institutions where you have a grievance against your government you can take to the street. And if Donald Trump was elected and reelected to destroy institutions, then you are right. Protesting will be destroyed as well, meaning you shoot a protester. Because if we want to tear down all the institutions in America because none of them are working, you don't pick and choose. You tear them all down. And if, quote unquote, peaceful protest was a part of an old school American institution and a constitutional right, well, then now let's shoot the protesters because there will be no more peaceful protesting because that's a part of an institution we want to tear down as well. So I do agree with you, but I don't want to speculate yet because I don't know how bad it's going to get. And if I don't know how bad it's going to get, I cannot tell folks how we should respond because a lot of it is still up in the air. But expect worst case scenario.
Well, I wish they would understand that the institutions that's really protecting our rights and everything, that seems like they're going to be getting rid of all of that. And you think you're hating the government now, but that's what's in place to save our ASS. So that stuff's not going to be available, man. Certain hosts was talking about it all along. Talking about Willie Hines all for these 4 years and maybe even longer about how much money someone make and all this and that. Like that's got something to do with something. Everybody wants to get paid for the hours they work. I know when I go to work every day, I expect to get paid. And if I work extra hours, I expect to get paid. I mean, that comes with the job.
That's right.
But you actually being singled out that you responsible. Oh, man, what's up with the bed bugs? What's up? Man, neighbors bringing stuff in here, man. People got to get rid of, burn that furniture. When I moved to my last apartment, that's what I did. I didn't bring nothing. I went to the furniture store and got the whole hookup. Because where I moved from, it was bed bugs. Somebody had bed bugs that lived next door to me, and they said the apartments on either side, when they treat them and they don't get rid of them, they'll come to your unit. Man, I didn't take none of that stuff with me. I got all new stuff. Because I never lived amongst stuff like that, and I never would run to. I keep a tidy place, so you can't blame Willie Hines, man, and that's not the way to do it, running up on somebody saying what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that. He's trying to do the best he can, and all he can say is we're trying hard, to find a remedy to relieve everybody from this. Keep up the good work, Sherwin.
All right, thank you, Security Mike. Appreciate your call. If there is, because we don't know who's suing the housing authority. So let's say that there's a lawsuit. Well, there very well could be, because I could see Common Ground engaging in a class action lawsuit against HUD, against the city of Milwaukee, the housing authority of the city of Milwaukee, the housing authority board. I could see that. If that is indeed the case, and the public wouldn't necessarily know that. If that's the case, then Willie Hines, he can't answer any of the questions because he is under the advice of an attorney. He cannot. But the other issue is, so he's responded, because a lot of the questions that he got about some of the problems at the housing authority, he did respond via email. Because when it's in writing, it could be admitted into court. Like, hey, Willie Hines responded. Here's how he responded. We have it in writing. But that wasn't good enough for TMJ4 and Jenna Ray. They want to ambush him. So imagine you have an issue at work, ladies and gentlemen. You messed up something at work. And you respond to the people that you work with in writing, like, hey, you guys said that this was going on. Here's how I'm going to fix it. Here's how I'm going to rectify it. But what if your email response to the issue that you're being accused of at work ain't good enough? What if the people that you work with, your boss, your manager, your coworkers, and your colleagues want to catch you in the parking lot, or they want to catch you at the shopping mall, or they want to catch you when you're walking your dog, or they want to catch you when you out to dinner, they want to ambush you. You need to fix this problem. Wouldn't you be offended? You got to have elements of class. But here's the other thing. I think this is why like folks like the town, like, oh, no, it's all fair game if you ambush a public official. Because we like drama. If we're angry about something, we want to see somebody else anger the person we're mad at. That's what we want. We want drama. We want to fight. We want to see somebody respond and act out of their character. So if we have an issue with something, because the institution itself is too big to challenge, but what we can do is we can collectively bully one person that we can say is responsible for the failure of the institution. And let me be abundantly clear about this. Anything that you have in American society where a disproportionate number of the beneficiaries are poor, black, and brown, the institution is going to fail them. Anything in America that is supposed to help or assist or make the lives better of someone who is poor, black, or brown is going to fail those people. So what you don't do is you don't lay all of the blame at the feet of one black man. The housing authority had issues before Willie Hines was there, but y'all didn't say nothing about that. Generate wasn't ambushing them folks. Let's talk to someone who knows all about bed bugs. Hello, Bob.
Hello, Sherwin. I think it's 8.5 billion people on this earth, or I think it is, and they all came from a woman. Even though it's odd, you came from a woman too, Sherwin. Now, that's why I thought
it's odd that I came from Bob. You came from a damn alien. I'm still not convinced you're human.
That is why I thought. That's why I thought abortion would take Miss Harris over the finish line. However, those white men had control of their women. Wow. I thought abortion would take her over the fence, but it didn't. I was just
Bob, are you still litigating the November 5th election? Are you still confused by what happened?
Trying to make sense of this election. I just even read a little bit.
People are, I'm going to break it down because we ain't going to be answering this question every damn day that you call. I want you to be able to understand what happened and then get over it so we can start moving forward now. People are very angry with what is happening in the United States. They're angry about prices. They're angry about their wages not going up enough. They're angry that things aren't how they used to be. They're angry that all these people that are un-American are coming over here and changing everything in the country. People are angry that the LGBTQ and the trans people are getting all sorts of stuff. That's what people are angry at that. And there's somebody that represents their anger. Not a person that represents the solution. Kamala Harris tried to represent the solution. We don't like solutions. We like to be angry. Trump his anger and his hatred over people resonated with more folks. If you can find somebody that hates the same people that I hate, that's going to be an ally of mine.
Okay, Sherwin. At one time, I was homeless, and I went to y'all shelter. You know, and they called me up. I was the only one out of about 300 people with one arm and couldn't hardly walk. And they called me up to clean up. And I got up and they said, oh, we didn't mean you. And I went on up in it and vacuumed, took out the garbage. And then the next day, a guy came in there. He needed 6 guys to move. Only 2 guys came up to the table. I couldn't help nobody move, you know. And it's just, I was there for 2 months and 2 days. And I just want to let homeless people know. They were packed when I came in there. And they said they was full. And then they looked at me and gave me a plate of food. And then they looked at me again and let me sleep on the floor with about 100 people because the beds were full. And then somebody gave me a bed the next day.
Bob, where are we going with this? Where are we going with your homeless story? What's the moral here?
The moral is pull yourself. I had to pull myself up from the bootstraps. I just try. You make one step, and then God makes another step. But you can't stop there. You got to make another step, and He helps. Homeless people understand. You know, you can. The homeless, they'll say they full, but they'll look at you, and they'll let you sleep on the floor in the homeless shelter. I did with 100 people, but the next day I got a bed. So, you know, even though they're full, they'll let you stay in the homeless shelter. And, you know, if you humble enough, at least, if you arrogant, no. So I just want the homeless people to know that. Since you say change the subject. And you got to ask me how Zech saved my life about what was the joke the next time I call.
No.
You know, you got to ask me, what was the joke about?
No.
It's funny.
I'm not asked. No, it's not. I guarantee it's not funny.
No. Yes, it is funny.
Are you yelling at me?
No, I'm not yelling at you.
Watch your tone, man. Funny. You better watch yourself. Who you think you talking to, man?
Listen. Okay. I said it's the biggest secret ever in Wisconsin.
Oh, good.
And the Mexican guy said, "What secret?" I went to hospitals, churches, everywhere, and Wisconsin got the biggest secret ever. And he said, "What secret are you talking about? Do you grow into a cheesehead, or are you born with a cheesehead?" And then
he needs to get banned. I took the bait. I took it with God that got a secret. Why do I do this? I wish Jenna Ray would ambush Bob. Throw a camera and a microphone in his face. I bet she'd stop ambushing people after that. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. On Wednesday night, we have a clash of Horizon League rivals as the Milwaukee Panthers travel to Green Bay to take on their conference rival, the UW Green Bay Phoenix.
Lob it up, and Darius Duffy with a dunk. An alley-oop will bring the crowd to their feet. Panthers push. Stillwell a leaner. Stillwell counted and one. Jermichael Stillwell.
Scott Warris has the coverage Wednesday starting at 5:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 6 o'clock.
What are some of the things that we need to really focus on to get our fair share of these opportunities, i.e. access to capital?
You know, it's very important to always think about building a strong business plan, understanding the financial parameters around what you're trying to accomplish, building great networks and great relationships so you can have partnerships and building out your dream. And then finding a good financial partner like Old National to help really orchestrate your vision of the organization. And then, as you know, DT, you wouldn't be where you're at because you're phenomenal, doing great work. And then you have to really have to go to work. If you have that dream, you have that vision, the business plan, the financial piece, then you have to really work at it and keep building.
Learn more about the Old National Bank Small Business Empowerment Loan by visiting oldnational.com/small business or contact a small business banker at Old National Bank.
All insurance companies, they want to know where are your cars housed. Right. They want to know how far are you driving to get to and from work every day. They want to know all these different things for weather patterns. Are you living in northern Wisconsin or are you living down in Tornado Alley somewhere in Kentucky? These things make a difference as to how your insurance rates are formed. I need you to be factual, and every single time somebody commits these different frauds, it all adds up, and everybody ends up paying the price for it down the road.
Erie Insurance, providing the protection you need and the service you expect, all at a great price.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Sunday, December 15th, get ready for the ultimate holiday celebration at the Celebrity Status Holiday Gala. Join the Status Gala at the Potawatomi Legacy Ballroom at 6 p.m. for a night of fashion, business networking, and incredible performances. Enjoy Grammy-nominated Corinne Hawthorne, a tribute to Quincy Jones by Sam Belton, jazz experience, and more. Tickets are just $75, includes dinner and a $10 gameplay, plus special table rates and exclusive perks. Vendors welcome. Limited space available. Get your tickets now at Celebrity Status Barber and Beauty at Mayfair or on Eventbrite.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris, and the time is now, Milwaukee. You know, perspective is essential. What I found is the news behind the news is more important. I want you to leave my show with a sense of knowing what was missing that adds depth to the conversation. Tune in Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. on the new 101.7 The Truth, the Truth app, or 101.7thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Sherwin Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. This show has meant so much to me because it's an opportunity for me to express my thoughts and my feelings to my community, and for my community to express those same thoughts and feelings right back to me. Milwaukee means a lot to me. I was born here, raised here, educated here, and I'm committed to making this a better city. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. So I'm trying my damnedest to illustrate that you are in the middle of a revolution right now as we speak, and I'm going to give you a couple examples of how I believe that to be true. So the re-election of Donald Trump was a revolutionary act. There are people that wanted to buck the system. The institutions aren't working, not working for me. At least Donald Trump is sharing that same sentiment because they're not working for him either. But the reason why they're not working for him is not the same as why they aren't working for you. They're not working for you because you're not wealthy. You're not famous. He thinks he should be able to get away with anything that he wants. Most of us don't know what it's like to grow up with the entitlement of your history, your heritage, your skin color, and money. The things that those people are able to get away with, the things they're able to do, the no responsibility, there's no accountability. The thing about being a middle-class person, a working-class person, or a poor person, if you do something and you screw up and it's your fault and you break the law, you are going to have a consequence. But you can be a person in this country that is of so much privilege that you're not held responsible for anything that you do, meaning you can break the law, you can be mean to people, you can disrespect people, and you pay no price. Or the price that you pay is financial. Well, here, I'll just give you $1 million. Just shut up. Yeah, I slept with a prostitute. Here, give her $130,000 and tell her to shut her mouth. He believes, and I don't fault Donald Trump for this. If anything, I fault people for thinking that his view of the world is similar to those who don't have his opportunity, don't have his privilege, don't have his money, don't have his ability to commit 34 felonies and be out here running around with Secret Service protection and Air Force One. That he doesn't have anything in common with those folks. But what they do share is a disdain for the system. Trump doesn't like the system because even at the very, very top, there are still rules. There is still a constitution. Every other local law, he's broken. State laws, he's broken. Federal laws, he's broken. So as he ascends in his career politically, and it took him his whole life to get to where he is, he's at the end of his life, but talk about a pinnacle. Imagine the end of your life. Same with Joe Biden. The end of your life, you become the most powerful person on the planet. And I would argue that Barack Obama better than most because Barack Obama became the most powerful person in the middle of his life. Big difference. Big difference. But then Trump realizes, wait a minute, you mean I can't do this? Well, why not? I mean, I can't pick this person. So what if they've been accused of sexual assault? So what if Brett Kavanaugh's been accused of sexually assaulting a woman when he was 18 years old? So how come I can't do that? I can do whatever I want. What do you mean I don't like the results of the election? What do you mean I can't overturn it? Yes, I can overturn it. Well, how many votes did I lose by in Georgia, Trump might say? Well, 11,779. Well, then find me 11,780 votes then. What's the big deal? What do you mean I can't do that? What do you mean that's a crime? What do you mean I can't keep these classified documents that belong to the American people? What do you mean I can't keep them in my house? Well, these are my documents. What if I want to share some of these documents and some of these secrets with other friends that I've made, other foreign leaders that are interested in some of the United States secrets? Because Donald Trump can say, well, I was president. These are my secrets. I was president. I own all of this. You know what, guys? Pack up all these documents. Mr. President, we legally can't. Pack up the documents. Don't worry about it. If you get in trouble, I'll pardon you. I'll pardon myself. I'll pardon everybody. I beg your pardon. You ain't got to beg for it. The people that voted for him just share a disdain for the institutions, but he doesn't like the institutions because they put rules on him. Rules that were already on all of us. But by voting for him, you are committing an individual revolutionary act. The black folks who voted for Donald Trump, they know ain't nothing coming their way. Let's be clear. They didn't vote because they're going to get something, because they're going to get a tax break. I gave an example of a tax break, like a real tax break, on a previous show. A tax break is, I got a tax break, I'm going to buy a third vacation home. If you can't buy a third vacation home, if you can't buy a second vacation home, if you can't buy your first vacation home, if you can't buy the damn house you live in now, then you ain't getting no tax break. When they say tax break, like that's what they mean, not, oh, look, there's $9 more in my check. And here's the thing. Let's say you do get $9 more in your check from whatever arbitrary tax break Donald Trump gives you. All you're going to do is find a way to spend the $9. What, you going to put that in a 401k? What, you going to put that $9 from your quote-unquote tax break into your pension? No, you're going to spend it. So they just found a way in which they can commiserate with someone who also doesn't like the system. Institutions are failing us. I got a quote from Bill Clinton. I'll get to that in a minute. But before I do that, Black Lives Matter leader calls for, quote, black vigilantes to descend on cities, following the Daniel Penny acquittal. Black Lives Matter activist and leader Hawk Newsom called for, quote, black vigilantes to descend into major cities on Monday to retaliate against 26-year-old former Marine Daniel Penny's acquittal over the death of Jordan Neely. A Manhattan jury found Penny not guilty of criminally negligent homicide after he held 30-year-old homeless man Jordan Neely in a chokehold to protect surrounding passengers on a New York City subway train back in May of 2023. Couldn't we say that the institution that is supposed to protect and house people failed Mr. Neely? The help that he should have gotten, being someone who had some mental illness, wouldn't we say that institution failed him? Wouldn't we say that the police or whatever transit authority that they have in New York that's supposed to protect passengers from someone who might be mentally unwell like Mr. Neely, wouldn't we say that that failed too? Wouldn't we also say that Daniel Penny failed when he took the life of Mr. Neely? Now, the jury is another thing, and so we can't overlook the jury. This was a New York case. And I don't live in New York, and I've heard about stuff. I've seen stuff on the TV about some of the weird stuff and some of the assaults, sexual assaults, and the rapes that happened on the subway train. Here's what I come to find out: the majority of the people on that jury were women. Don't know their race, but I know the majority of the people on that jury that acquitted Daniel Penny were women. I don't know what stories those women may have had of being assaulted or being accosted or something dangerous happening to them on the subway. I do know this, and I can connect a similarity to why they acquitted him and how Donald Trump got elected. Here's the thing that Donald Trump does better than anybody else. He projects strength. What the bald-headed lady name is? Amber. Rick, the bald-headed lady named Amber? She got a bald head. You know who that is, Rick? Amber. What's her last name? Amber Simpson. Amber Ray. Amber Rose. She was a surrogate for Donald Trump for a period of time, and she was explaining why she wants to vote, why she did vote, will vote, is supporting, did support Donald Trump. She said, Trump makes me and my kids feel safe. There's a lot of women that feel safe under the protection of somebody like Donald Trump. The boogeyman. The Beauty and the Beast. You know how that's such a common theme in literature? It's a very common, popular Disney cartoon. There was even, I'm sure, a TV show, Beauty and the Beast, because it's a rarely talked about but widely known fantasy of women. Women want a beast, but a beast that they can tame, a beast that can protect them from the ills of the world. It really is a real thing. You can look it up on your own time. It's a deep-seated psychological fantasy that women want a beast, but a beast that will protect them against all others. And these women who were on the jury who acquitted Daniel Penny,
Our Truth Nation, there's a critical need for more African-American blood donors in Milwaukee, and we want to encourage you to help save lives by donating blood.
This is why we ask you to join us on Friday, December 20th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we have partnered with Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin for a blood drive with your favorite truth shows broadcasting live on site.
Come watch Truth Be Told with Telly, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and Jam with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Mahone Juice, live from the Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin.
That is right, y'all. So join us on Friday, December 20th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. for our Truth Blood Drive.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind?
Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/the reason to get started.
Prostate cancer screening is a simple blood test. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Your family history of prostate cancer increases the risk for all the men in your family. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Prostate cancer is most treatable when it's detected early. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Men, it's your life. That's why it's so important to talk to your doctor about getting tested. If you want info on how to take action, the Prostate Cancer Foundation is here to help. For more than 30 years, PCF, a leader in scientific breakthroughs, has funded cutting-edge research that speeds new treatments into clinics, helping patients live longer with fewer complications. Go to pcf.org to learn more about prostate cancer and how you can advocate for yourself. Remember, it's your life, and it's a simple blood test. Get it done.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I could start a riot.
Welcome back to the program. So you have a Black Lives Matter activist that saying, well, black people need to get a bunch of vigilantes and go around choking white people to protest Jordan Neely's death on a New York City subway train. Oh, that would be the worst idea ever. God bless our little black hearts. Sometimes we think that we can do what they do and get away with it. Sometimes 12, if we're lucky, 13% of the population believes it has the ability, the power, and the authority to challenge the other 86, 87, 88% of the population. We believe that. I think that we sometimes think as black folks that we are overrepresented in this nation, and we are still dramatically underrepresented. And we're overrepresented in cities, in urban areas. We're overrepresented in public housing, in poverty. You know who the biggest demographic is that's homeless? Black men. Think that's coincidence? Is it just black men just don't like to pay their rent and their utilities? Is it just us? It's just a black man problem because we're lazy. We're not pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. If you believe in any kind of conspiracy theory that there was some government intervention in destroying the black family and giving comfort to the black woman and her children, giving her subsidized housing, giving her energy assistance, giving her food subsidies, but black men who are oftentimes in the same economic situation but just don't have the children, but they get nothing, and then the black men are homeless, and then when you are homeless and you are vulnerable, then nobody wants you. The woman doesn't want you, neither does the rest of society. It actually works very, very well. But then that's yet another example of an institution that is failing us. The only time that we have real power, and this is a very abstract concept that requires people to critically think. For those of you that listen to me, every now and again we'll get someone who vehemently disagrees with like who I am as a person. Everything I say, every topic, every single perspective. They just can't stand your boy Sherwin. And I realized something, that the people that have that feeling toward me have something very much in common. They're not critical thinkers. And because they are unable to grasp and grapple with really abstract concepts, you go after the messenger. It's just a simple thing that people do when you're not a critical thinker. If I don't like what's going on at the housing authority, I'll just attack Willie Hines. If I don't like what someone is saying, well, then I'll just attack the person that's saying it. When you give powerless people power, they don't know what to do with it. They use their power from the perspective of someone who has none. And it's self-defeating, and you won't be in power very long. The most powerful black people is the ability to control who gets elected at the local level in our neighborhoods, in our communities, our school board, our alderpersons, our state representative, our county supervisor. Where we are the most powerful, we use it the absolute least. If you do not vote and vote in a direction and vote for an agenda or create an agenda and present an agenda and say, this is what we are voting for, then you don't know what to do with your power. Here's another example. There's a percentage, I don't know what it is, I'm sure some of you probably do, of people who play the lottery, win, and are broke within a certain number of years. You guys, I'm sure, have heard that before. Or even if you look at a number of great celebrities, artists, and entertainers who fell from grace. Like, how in the hell did MC Hammer have however many tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, and then goes broke? Didn't that happen to the ladies from TLC, T-Boz and Chili? Didn't they go broke? Didn't Tony Braxton go broke? Money is power. And we all know that, because when you have money, you can do anything. You can do anything. You can be anything, or at least you can give the appearance of it. But if you have the mentality of a powerless person and you give somebody $10 million, they gonna buy jewelry, they gonna buy cars, they gonna buy houses. They're not gonna invest. They're not gonna critically think with that power. They're going to think as a poor person that has money. Poor people that have money soon part with it. We a lot of times think that our power as black people is equated with our anger. We get really mad, don't we, when we see things, when we see unfairness, when we see injustice, when we see racism, when we see a black man who obviously was vulnerable, but at the same time was threatening people, which you can't do that. People don't like to see black people, especially other African Americans that are already vulnerable, then get hurt. And then what do? We want to take the power that we engender from our anger and our emotions, and we want to strike out and lash out at the world. But that is not how it works, because our anger is not powerful. Because if that was the case, then every black woman that lost a husband or a son to gun violence, just their emotion would end gun violence. Our emotion isn't power. What we do tangibly with our emotion is where our power comes from. I see this in every aspect of my life. You take somebody who is an unqualified employee, but they're loyal, and you give them a powerful position in a company because they're loyal. They're going to fail. Because they're still going to have the mindset and the mentality of just a regular loyal employee. But if you give them all of this access and you give them all of this ability to have more control at the job, they're going to fail. Power is not for the weak. A Manhattan jury found Penny not guilty of criminally negligent homicide after he held 30-year-old homeless man Jordan Neely in a chokehold to protect surrounding passengers on a New York City subway train in May of 2023. Newsom called on black vigilantes to avenge Neely's death and fight against white people who allegedly want to, quote, choke and kill black people for being loud. Like everybody else has vigilantes, we need some black vigilantes, Newsom said. People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us? I'm tired. I know you're looking for us to be like, oh, go and march, go and march. No, this weekend I want you to hold a community event everywhere from the Bronx to Houston to Seattle to Florida. Black people hold community events and talk about what you need. Now, he kind of switched his tone there a little bit. Do you understand that they are waiting for us to lash out? They're waiting for black folks to reach a boiling point collectively to where we think we're big enough to have a revolution. They will snipe us from every building. They will cut off our water. They will cut off our electricity. They will cut off our internet. They will cut off the supply of insulin and high blood pressure medication to the black community. We'll be dead in 10 days. That's why I got to be realistic when we talk about like that kind of revolution. We're not equipped for that kind of revolution. We're not armed like we should be. We can't survive outside of an urban environment. They can. They go camping. You know what camping is? Practice for the apocalypse. I was asked to go camping once. Oh, you mean sleep in the woods? Is there a hotel nearby? Oh, yeah, of course there's a hotel nearby. Okay, how about this? Sherwin will get the hotel room, and I'll come and build a little campfire with you guys during the day. But then at night when it gets cold and the crickets get loud, I'm going to go back to my hotel room and watch something on Netflix. We're not prepared for that kind of revolution, but they're waiting for us to get that frustrated because they will exterminate us. And if you don't believe that, then why haven't they been much more helpful in black progress? Why is it that when black people get something, obtain something, or accomplish something, they become even more racist? They're doing this on purpose. They're trying to push us so that we get to the point where we think that we can have an armed revolution against this country. We will get destroyed in ways you couldn't even imagine. They'll cut off our water. If you segregate black people and you know where black people live, cut off all of the utilities, all their water, no more shipments. You stop the supply chain delivering things to the black community. We'll be dead in 10 days. So no, this is not how you deal with it by having a bunch of black vigilantes. Where we have the most power, we use it the least. We have political power. We have power in numbers. We have power when we come together, but we still have not figured out how to channel, how to harness that power for the good. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it is Denise Thomas from Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, and I am so excited for you to tune in to our monthly interview with Old National Bank. Old National Bank will be joining us to discuss why they are so committed to supporting women and people of color-owned businesses, while also discussing their Empowerment Loan Program, which can provide your business access to funds up to $5 million. So don't miss our Truth Be Told monthly interview with Old National Bank at 8 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Sometimes it takes a breakdown to have a breakthrough. And at Vin Baker Recovery, they understand the power of having real support while you're on that journey to recovery. This is why at Vin Baker Recovery, they customize treatment plans specific for your needs. Vin Baker Recovery provides our community and anyone looking for help with access to mental health care and recovery support, helping you treat addiction. So whether opioid abuse, alcohol, or other controlled substances, Vin Baker Recovery helps you get back to the lifestyle that you know will be the best option for your future. Vin Baker Recovery offers licensed counseling and therapy services to curb the mental health problems that have been impacting our communities for far too long. They provide services like medication-assisted treatment, outpatient care, and hub and spoke services with peer support. So what are you waiting for? Vin Baker Recovery accepts walk-ins and appointments. It's just that easy. Just visit VinBakerRecovery.com. That's VinBakerRecovery.com. They're here to help you win the day.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Sunday, December 15th, get ready for the ultimate holiday celebration at the Celebrity Status Holiday Gala. Join the Status Gala at the Potawatomi Legacy Ballroom at 6 p.m. for a night of fashion, business networking, and incredible performances. Enjoy Grammy-nominated Corinne Hawthorne, a tribute to Quincy Jones by Sam Belton, jazz experience, and more. Tickets are just $75, includes dinner and a $10 gameplay, plus special table rates and exclusive perks. Vendors welcome. Limited space available. Get your tickets now at Celebrity Status Barber and Beauty at Mayfair or on Eventbrite.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
All right. The killing of United Healthcare executive ignites patient anger over insurance. So somebody had posted a screenshot in the Hughes Views Facebook group. As you know, the Hughes Views Facebook group is the Facebook group that corresponds to this show. Things that I talk about, articles and links that I use on this program, I'll post in the group so you guys can share them at your leisure and read them as well. And so when the news broke that the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, was his name. When that news broke, United Healthcare put something on their social media. Condolences to the family. We are so sorry and saddened by the loss of our CEO, Brian Thompson. And you know, on social media posts, you can react. There's 25,000 people that reacted with laughter to the shooting death, and shot him in the back, too. That's terrible. The shooting death of Brian Thompson, who was the CEO of United Healthcare. And as I delved further into this story that I believe is stranger than fiction, and it does have a little taste of conspiracy, the number of people that have been denied claims from United Healthcare is staggering. In fact, of the data we can track, because private insurance, we don't have that data because private individuals are not reporting or documenting to news outlets, nor can media get details of your individual denials when you have a medical issue and the insurance company, in this case United Healthcare, doesn't pay for it, because HIPAA is an act that protects our medical privacy. But in what can be tracked, Medicare and Medicaid claims, not only is United Healthcare denying more people, they're not even using a human being to deny people their claims. They're using artificial intelligence, which is unfair, it's cold, and it lacks human emotion. And a number of folks have been denied what they thought was covered care, forcing people to have to leave the hospital, no longer get certain medical care. They can't get certain prescription drugs anymore because their claims are being denied, and that can put people in financial ruin. So, and I'm stuck here because I will be able to tell you with great specificity how the healthcare system is an institution that has again failed. It is a failing institution. If people believe that an institution is failing, instead of looking at the institution and wanting to do something democratically, small d democratically, to fix, to change, to amend, to rewrite the rules of the institution, just kill the CEO. I don't like the way this democracy is working. It's not working for me. The government is not helping me. I'm still in need. The things that we've been complaining about for many, many years are still issues to this day. Screw the Democrats, vote for Donald Trump because he wants to destroy everything. Housing authority is not doing what it's supposed to do. We got rats and bats and greens, beans, tomatoes. Just go after Willie Hines instead of fixing the institution. When your institutions fail and people begin to take matters in their own hands, you have a revolution. It is not always going to be bloody. It's not going to be the revolution that the de facto leader of Black Lives Matter. I didn't know Black Lives Matter had a leader. Maybe he's the Black Lives Matter person in New York. Do we have a Black Lives Matter office in Milwaukee? Where is it? Who's the head of that? I think our definition as black people of revolution has been curated by the Black Power movement and Malcolm X and Any Means Necessary and go get a bunch of guns and go to the state capitol. No. Revolutions now, they're much more covert. They're elegant. They're political in nature a lot of times. Or they have to do with money. You fund something. You want to destroy an institution? Go give me $10, $15 million. I'll destroy an institution. 30, 40, 50, $100 million. I can destroy an institution because I can then take that money that you give me to destroy an institution and turn it into electoral power. And I'll get elected and I'll destroy the institution from the inside. There are a number of people that are very unhappy with what is happening right now in the United States. They want to upend everything. But because we don't know how, we're going after soft targets. There might be a young man somewhere in suburban America who is lonely. Nobody likes him. Nobody talks to him. He is bullied. He is ostracized. Maybe he's poor. Maybe they make fun of his clothes. Maybe they make fun of his shoes. Instead of the school being a welcoming place, an environment where even a child like that who might be getting abused at home, probably is getting abused at home, physically, emotionally, sexually, that child just finds no solace anywhere. And instead of us as community members reaching out to that child to wrap that child up in community love, that child feels neglected because the institution that's supposed to protect children, vulnerable children, collapses and he brings a gun to school and he shoots everybody. That is a failing institution as well. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Coming with straight truth.
The majority of rich white families and rich white people got rich off of slavery and have that same money today in their families that they hand down. It's not that we don't want to work. We weren't able to start businesses back in the day. So when you are able to start a business and we can't, and your family business goes from generation to generation and ours doesn't, whose fault is that?
Listen to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Vice President Kamala Harris.
Talk with your listeners to remind them of their power and the importance of voting. And the folks in Milwaukee turned out for me and Joe Biden in 2020. You showed what was possible.
U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, are you a racist?
Absolutely not.
Is Donald Trump a racist?
Absolutely not. No.
And civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump.
Thank you all for speaking truth to power. That's the most important thing, because right now there are those in our community who would rather we just be quiet.
Right.
We have to disturb the peace now more than ever.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
For some children, a single surgery can turn an untreated cleft into a smile for life.
But at Smile Train, we understand that most children need a little extra care. They need medical, dental, and emotional resources to grow healthy and strong, to express themselves clearly, and to navigate all of life's challenges so that their smiles light up the room as brightly as possible. Visit smiletrain.org to learn how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community with lifelong smiles.
Join the movement. Listen to the Tori Lowe Show on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, the locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Pheasant out, Pluto. Pheasant out, Pluto.
I'm from a place where we don't do no ratting. No. Homie, just tell me what happened. Heard it got caught with the stuck with the Heard it got left with the Whew. Hold on, wait.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Boy, I sure am lucky this song is clean. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have been playing my own bumper music today. I like it better. Because, Rick, your music sucked. Don't turn your mic on. Leave it. Nope. Stop.
No, we're not doing that. I just told you
what
before we went on air about accountability.
What you talking about?
Every bumper music that's ever played on this show is ran by and picked by you.
No, it isn't.
It is.
I don't remember that.
It is. And when us producers try to add music, new music, to your bumper music, you tell us no. The music that you have is just fine. Accountability.
Well, I got tired of the music that was in there, so now I want to experiment with new music. And I have so much technology at my fingertips. At this radio station, there's even more technology here than when we were at the other building. I can do all of the things. I can play my own audio. The only thing I can't do yet is play my own hotkeys. Once I learn how to play my own hotkeys, I will ding myself every time I make a wonderful point. All you'll hear is dings because I make many wonderful points. All right, let's read some text messages at 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. I also want to get back to the killing of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, and Luigi Mangione. Am I saying his name right? Is that the man's name? I should know it. Luigi Mangione. They caught him at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. They caught him with a manifesto. They caught him with clothes that resemble the clothes that they had on the surveillance footage throughout the cameras in New York. They even caught him with a murder weapon. Something about that sounds and feels conspiratorial to me because this man planned this hit. He planned it very, very well. He knew to take a Greyhound bus. He knew to pay with cash. He knew to stay at a hostel. He had a fake driver's license from New Jersey. Why do you don't keep the murder weapon? Everybody who's watched a crime show knows no weapon, no witness, no murder. You can't keep the weapon. Now he's going to jail for 305,059 years and no parole. All right, let's see what we got here. The caller says MC Hammer is still a millionaire today. Not after he had to file for bankruptcy first, though. Y'all don't remember in 95, 96 with MC Hammer, who had a bunch of money because he made songs like the Hammer song? What are some MC Hammer songs? Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him. What was the real popular MC Hammer song? Can't Touch This. Do, 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 do. Can't Touch This. That one. He got real rich. And then we were like, oh, my God, MC Hammer is broke. He had to file for bankruptcy because he had his big entourage. And I guess he got sued a bunch, and he spent a whole bunch of money on stuff. That's because if you give someone who does not have money, is not used to having money, you give them a bunch of money, they're still going to act like a poor person. They're going to spend their money like a poor person. And when you're a rich person, you can't spend your money like a poor person because you will find that poverty exists even when you have money. Poverty is a mindset. Because there are poor people that have the mindset of somebody wealthy. They're usually spendthrifts or they're very frugal. They're cheap. Whenever they get some money, they save some money. Unfortunately, the culture of poverty, as I'm going to paint with a broad brush about the culture of poverty, is if you get a little windfall of money, spend it. Make yourself feel good. Go buy yourself some. Go out and get some crab legs. Go out and get some lamb chops. Question and point of order. When did black people all of a sudden start liking lamb chops? Was this right around the time we started liking hookah? Like, what happened? How do we transition into eating lamb chops? For a while, it was seafood boils. We love to go get a seafood boil. I guess trends in food change. I remember some time ago, and maybe this is my suburban side coming out, where the dessert of choice was frozen yogurt. Everybody went to the frozen yogurt place, and you could get frozen yogurt, and then we call it a froyo. That's short for frozen yogurt, for those of you that are less informed. Now, people aren't into the froyo no more. Then I remember for a while, it was cupcakes, fancy cupcakes, gourmet cupcakes. Everybody had a little cupcake shop. They're making cupcakes. We want some cupcakes. I'm making cupcakes with the frosting on them and nice designs on the cupcakes. Then cupcakes went away. Now it's crumble cookies. Crumble cookies are stupid. They're 75 inches in diameter. Who needs a cookie that big? Nobody wants a cookie that big. I have an idea for a cookie. And if somebody has already invented this cookie, congratulations to you. Because crumble is more like, it's not even about the cookie. They're a viral cookie company, and they come up with weird ideas. They have a cornbread flavored cookie at Crumble, right? Weird. They have weird stuff. A churro flavored cookie that has come up with viral things. It's not even about the cookie. It's about what weird trend can they take advantage of. I know I'm getting sidetracked. Don't worry, I'll get back. And those of you that are not used to listening to my show, get used to this, because this happens. But I got an idea for a cookie. It's the holiday time, right? Everybody loves the holidays. You had Thanksgiving. We love Thanksgiving very much. I love my Thanksgiving. I got my Thanksgiving catered this most recent Thanksgiving. I'll do that again. I will get my Thanksgiving catered again. I'll do that again. Got Christmas coming up, and you know, holidays means food. Food. Americans love food. What about a sweet potato pie cookie? Hear me out. Listen now. It's the same flavors that you get in a good sweet potato pie. A good sweet potato pie, you taste the nutmeg. You taste the butter. You taste a little bit of vanilla extract in a good sweet potato pie, and it's got to have a nice balance of sweetness. How come no one has thought to put the taste of a sweet potato pie in a cookie? Now, on the flip side, how about a pumpkin pie cookie? I'm sure there are probably variations of it, because you got pumpkin pie. You probably got pumpkin pie cupcakes. You probably got pumpkin pie muffins. What about a pumpkin pie cookie? Right? Am I right? Because if you don't want the whole slice of pie, you can just have like a cookie, a pumpkin pie cookie. All right. The caller says, Ricky, I hope you have some technology at your fingertips to disable the ding button sometimes. Professor Hughes will certainly abuse it. Rick don't play dings. You know what Rick does most of the time? He's supposed to be producing my show. He's over there doing his taxes. No, what, you awake now? No. I see you over here leaning toward the microphone like you got something to say. What you got to say?
Stop lying to these people.
Rick, I don't even know what you be doing sometimes.
I do producer work, so I'm creating promos. I'm collecting podcast segments. I'm doing video clips. I'm doing social media. I'm doing work, and all you're doing is just talking for 3 hours.
Wow. Tell you what.
See how I get there?
Tell you what. Why don't we do this? One day. And I'm not saying that what you do is easy. It's not. It is a skill set. And it's a technical skill at that. Editing, and then you got to create social media clips. You got to know video editing. You got to handle the YouTube and do all the things. I'm not saying it's easy. But I think that I could do what you do for 3 hours. We'll switch one day. You come over here on this side. And
do you hear this?
You talk to these people.
He said he can do what we do easily. Yeah.
I'm not saying easily. I'm saying I could do it. But the question is, could you be over here on this side behind this microphone for 1, 2, 3 hours? That's 180 minutes, man. And you got to be interesting. You got to be compelling. You got to be entertaining. You got to be informative. And you can't stop. You can't pause. You can't, let me think about that. And I'll get back to you in 5 minutes. No, you got to be on top of it. Come on, Rick. 3 hours. Let's do it. Next week.
I would take you up on that offer.
Oh, my God. No, you would not.
I would. I really would. I would take you up on that bet. If you think you can do what I do every day, so that means...
No, for just one show.
No, It don't work like that.
Yes, it does work like that.
I do 2 shows every day, so that means you have to get up at 5 in the morning, and you got to be the first person to be here.
Rick, I'm not trying to emulate your work day. I'm just going to do a 3-hour switch. No. You do. I'll produce my show. I'll be your producer. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, because you can't do it.
You want to be me. And that's fine. If you want to be a producer, I will let you produce. We could call, after this show, we can go to Kyle, and we can make this happen.
We ain't got to go to, well, Kyle don't need to know about this. Why you snitching?
Behind back here?
Why you, Kyle, you ain't got to snitch?
Oh, no, I ain't snitch. I'm just making sure you know what the job entails.
I guarantee Kyle just heard this dialogue. He upstairs writing a report right now. Well, I heard them.
I just want to make sure when you get behind this board that you know what you are doing.
You push the buttons, mic buttons. You got the button for the stack. I know how that works. I produce stuff. I got a studio in my house, man.
It sounds easy, but it's not easy.
Can I get back to my job, Rick? The job that you can't do?
Yes, Sherwin, you can.
Jen Watson, a 41-year-old mother in Federal Way, Washington, has worked for years with her doctor to find the right medications to deal with her multiple chronic illnesses, which include epilepsy and fibromyalgia. Her doctor had found some medications that could reduce Watson's nerve pain, but Watson says her United Healthcare Medicaid plan refused to cover the drugs. And because of her pain, it has been hard for Watson to find a job. She says, I've been struggling to find work in part because I can't stand for more than 15 minutes and end up in serious pain very quickly because my symptoms aren't well managed, Watson told Reuters. The killing last week of a powerful health insurance executive has ignited an outpouring of anger from Americans that are struggling to receive pay and medical care. The man suspected of killing Brian Thompson, chief executive of United Healthcare, in a brazen shooting outside of Midtown Manhattan Hotel last week has been arrested in New York, officials said on Monday. Well, he wasn't arrested in New York. He was arrested in Pennsylvania. It does seem that he has some ill will toward corporate America, New York Police Chief and Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney said of the suspect. The attack called fresh attention to deepening frustrations over health care coverage. Recent data show patients are now even more likely to have their claims denied, pay for more premiums and medical visits, and face unexpected costs for care they thought was covered by their health plan. Rising costs are attributed in part to consolidation of doctors' practices, hospitals, and insurers. United Healthcare, part of United Health Group, the largest manager of health benefits, followed by Cigna, and third is CVS Health. It's a very shocking event, but it's also an opportunity for people to vent about issues that have been of great concern for many people. He might be treated as a martyr. They don't say his name in this article. I know I have another article. I'm sure a lot of you have been denied health care claims, but to deny somebody who is on Medicare or Medicaid is particularly sinister. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break, come back, and I'm going to give you more details about the apprehension of the accused murderer of Brian Thompson. I believe it's Luigi Mangione, which sounds very much like a video game character and very, very Italian. We'll talk about those details and how they described it in this Reuters article as a brazen killing. I don't know. It was pretty clean. You know what I mean? It was clean. He shot him in the back, which, you know, that's an assassin for you. He had a real special kind of gun that was very quiet. The gun didn't make a lot of bang, bang, boom, boom noises. It was clean. He had a little mask on. And here's what, you know how he got caught? A girl was flirting with him. And the girl asked him to pull his mask down. I'm not kidding you. This is how he got caught. The New York detective said had he not pulled his mask down to smile at that woman, they may not have caught him because they had zero identification on the dude. Fellas, let it be a lesson to you. These women will ruin your life. This is probably a bad example because this guy technically is a murderer, but I'm just saying, fellas, don't let a woman flirting with you take you off of your square. Be a man. Be strong. Be stoic. Woman gonna say, pull your mask down. And you see the still picture of him because that's the picture they had all over the world. He just pulled the mask on just smiling. He's saying to himself, yeah, I committed this little murder or whatever. When I'm finna smile at this little thing right here, I might get me a little piece before I go on the run. Idiot! The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Sometimes it takes a breakdown to have a breakthrough. And at Vin Baker Recovery, they understand the power of having real support while you're on that journey to recovery. This is why at Vin Baker Recovery, they customize treatment plans specific for your needs. Vin Baker Recovery provides our community and anyone looking for help with access to mental health care and recovery support, helping you treat addiction. So whether opioid abuse, alcohol, or other controlled substances, Vin Baker Recovery helps you get back to the lifestyle that you know will be the best option for your future. Vin Baker Recovery offers licensed counseling and therapy services to curb the mental health problems that have been impacting our communities for far too long. They provide services like medication-assisted treatment, outpatient care, and hub and spoke services with peer support. So what are you waiting for? Vin Baker Recovery accepts walk-ins and appointments. It's just that easy. Just visit VinBakerRecovery.com. That's VinBakerRecovery.com. They're here to help you win the day.
Everywhere in America, families are struggling with an all-too-common problem.
She missed school again.
Again?
Something is going on. She's secretive.
Should we check her backpack?
When you suspect a family member has a substance use disorder, it's hard to know what to do next.
We need to talk to her.
Starting the conversation is the first step to getting help. Visit SAMHSA at samhsa.gov/families for tips. Or for treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. So I got some information on the shooter, Brian Thompson, United Healthcare CEO. When the story broke, I think it was last Friday, I didn't talk about it. I think they did on other shows on 101.7 The Truth. In fact, I know they did. I think Tori talked about it. Either Friday or, I don't know, Monday maybe. And Zach, you played some audio when the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO van took place. Tori covered it last week. When it's a story of that magnitude, I usually don't jump on them right away because as time goes on, more information comes out, and that gives more depth to the conversation. Just like I'm not jumping on this Jay-Z thing with the accusations. Jay-Z says this is a shakedown. I know it was a bad look for Jay-Z, though, because it was Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Blue Ivy, who looks grown as hell, at a premiere of a children's movie. That looked bad because they were at Mufasa, and they took pictures at the premiere, even though I guess Mufasa technically. It was based on a Lion King, which I, for some reason, see as a children's story. I think it was a bad look for Jay-Z to be there with his wife and his child amid allegations that he was with a person that was way too young for him to be with. Whether Jay-Z was involved or not, whether it's a part of a shakedown or not, who knows? Maybe it is. Being associated with Sean P. Diddy Combs right now, that's the killer. But I've noticed something about P. Diddy. And for a while, a lot of my colleagues here talked about him and the allegations that came out. And, you know, he first vehemently denied what he was accused of. And then they saw the video of him abusing Cassie in a hotel lobby wearing a towel. My goodness. And, of course, people made a lot of hay out of what they saw with P. Diddy. But he ain't been canceled, though. Ain't none of y'all stop playing any music that he produced. I found that interesting. R. Kelly kind of did get canceled. R. Kelly got canceled. For those of you that may not know, and I don't know why you would, before Good Karma Brands bought this frequency of 101.7, this frequency of 101.7 was owned by the Devil's Advocates Radio, where I also, myself and Earl Ingram, were hosts, and they used to have a radio station on Brady Street. So when the allegations and accusations of R. Kelly came out, it ain't had nothing to do with the music to me. I played R. Kelly music. So back then, there was R. Kelly songs in my bumper music. And I remember my producer. I'll be honest with y'all. I don't want to say hate, because hate is, yeah, it might be hate. I never disliked another human being more than the producer that they put me with when I was at the previous incarnation of 101.7. I've been fairly lucky in that the overwhelming majority of my producers, except for one fairly recently, I've gotten along with. You know? I just need them. I don't even need my producers to do a lot. I don't even need them. They don't got to put together my shows for me. They don't got to give me show topics. They don't got to find me stuff. I don't need, and I'm going to tell you why. Rick, this ain't got nothing to do with you. This is just me talking about my relationship with many producers at 1, 2, 3 different radio stations.
Is this your TED Talk?
No, but I could give a hell of a TED Talk. If I put more of the onus on myself for my radio show, then I take all the responsibility for it. That's number one, because nobody really knows what's in my mind in producing me, like a normal, I shouldn't say normal. Usually how production goes, it's like a dance between the producer and the host. Like they sit down an hour before the show and they go over topic. I'm not wasting my time sitting down with nobody because I know what I want to talk about because only I feel the way I feel about the topics, right? So that's how normally it works. And then the producer might send an email. Here are your topics for hour one. And blah, blah, blah. I don't do all that. I want my producers, quite honestly, I want it to be easy for them to produce my show. So in the event that Rick isn't here or Zach's not here, maybe Jason fills in or maybe even somebody from TMJ that has to fill in for me, producing my show should be easy for them because I require very little. Push the button. That's it. Sometimes do some stuff, but don't do a lot of stuff. And there you go. That's all you got to do to produce my show. But also, it's strategy for me because the less I give my producer to do, the less the chance they'll screw up. Some of y'all still find a way. Still find a way to mess up your boy. Because if my show sucks, and I've had some, I put out some garbage in my life. Not all of them, but I've had some shows where I've walked out of the studio like, whew, better luck tomorrow. But y'all don't necessarily pay me for the accomplishment. You pay me for the attempt. Like, I try to have a good show, but if it sucks, sorry, what are you going to do? Sue me? But if my show sucks, y'all blame me. Right? And it could be maybe the producer screwed up, and that happens sometimes too. But the listening audience doesn't blame the producer, you blame the host. So if you guys are going to blame me for a crappy show or give me credit for a good show, then I need to be the one who's putting the most into it. You know, we should do that one day. How about this, Rick? Why don't we do this one day? Produce this show like you produce the others. Like, we'll meet before the show. We'll have a pre-show meeting, and you'll give me a bunch of articles and topics, and then you'll email me the pre-show meetings, and let's see how that show sounds.
Sure, if you can come in at 6 a.m, because that's the only time I have available. We can do it.
Why I got to do it when you're available?
Because we have to meet.
No. Why don't you just send me topics when you send in the other host topics?
Because your show don't work like other people's show does.
Well, what do you mean by that, Rick? They're all the same. You got a host or a variety of hosts that talk a bunch of mess.
Okay, so in other words, we're comparing your show to Truth Be Told with Telly Hughes' show, right? Right. Ironically, both of your last name is Hughes.
Yeah.
No relation.
Nope. Well, we're probably owned by the same plantation. People.
Wow.
We were probably, we were slaves together.
Conversation right now.
No, I'm saying, how else do you think black people had the same last name? It ain't about marriage. It's by slave.
So how they show preparation works a little bit different. You come in about an hour and a half, and actually work on your show.
2 hours.
Correct?
Yes.
2 hours. So you're upstairs working on your show for 2 hours. We talk about show preparation the night before and then some. You prep for your show the same day of. It's two totally different preparations between you two shows.
Really? You guys prep the night before?
Yes.
I'll be dipped. But what if news breaks overnight? What if there's something like that happens in the morning that is more...
We pick it up in the morning as well.
So isn't that a waste of time to prepare the night before? Because everything can change after one sleep.
No, because we'll just add it to the list of topics that we're going to discuss.
Oh, all right.
That's why I said, sure, if you can make it in about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, we can.
What about if we discuss tomorrow's topics tonight, like you do with the other shows? We'll do it the day before.
I can't do it.
Why not?
I have a graduation ceremony to go to, and I have to prep for a telly show as well. And I have to DJ tonight.
Who graduating? Graduating from where? You graduating? Who graduating?
No, my best friend is graduating from for nursing.
Oh, you got you a nursey nurse, huh? That's your friend? That's your friend? Oh, no. Who?
I'm laughing at Zach. Sorry.
Who your little?
I'm laughing at Zach.
Who your little nurse friend? What her name is?
Her name is Queasy.
Queasy, huh?
Queasy, yes.
Okay. Shout out to Queasy.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
That's your little girlfriend?
No.
But you going to her graduation just for the hell of it?
It's legit a friend, like a female friend. Like, that's my best friend. Like, she was there for me at some very, very dark times.
She was there. I know.
It's nothing more than platonic.
All right.
Kind of like how Ben and Juice is.
Not even close. They work together.
You hang outside of here too. They have a great chemistry. I love them together.
Don't make them more than what they are. Ben sees Carrie as a small boy, as another man.
Carrie is a little boy.
No, she's not. She don't like. I hope she don't hear you because she doesn't like when you call her that.
She's out there listening. She is a little boy. Zach agrees. Juice is a little boy. She's one of the homies.
Then you call her one of the homies. You don't call her a boy. Even though I just called her a boy. Luigi Mangione, the 26-year-old identified by authorities as a, quote, strong person of interest in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last week, was formally charged with murder in New York late yesterday after his arrest in Pennsylvania. As police say in an unsealed complaint, he was found with a 3D printed weapon and, quote, written admissions about the crime. Mangione was charged Monday night with murder, 3 weapons possessions related charges, and 1 forgery charge in Manhattan State Court, according to court records, adding to charges in Pennsylvania. New York Police Department Chief Detective Joseph Kinney and Mangione will be extradited to New York to face the charges there, with extradition hearings scheduled for Tuesday afternoon. So it is widely suspected that Mr. Mangione, the suspected murderer of Brian Thompson, had an issue or some kind of issue with either the greed of corporate America or United Healthcare specifically, as a lot of people do. Earlier in the program, I was talking about how these institutions have failed, and when the entire institution fails, instead of us working together, small d, democratically, to try and fix, amend, or rebuild these institutions in a new image that is more suitable for America, we just kill the CEO. Instead of looking at and focusing on and putting our energy into fixing the issues that may be wrong with the housing authority of the city of Milwaukee, what we do and what local media does is you just ambush the outgoing executive of Hackham. The individual from Black Lives Matter New York that wants to have a revolution where you go and choke out white people now because he is upset with the poor treatment, the maltreatment of African Americans on public transportation. He wants to now have a whole damn revolution instead of working together and figuring out how we can get the help and the resources to people that are mentally unfit, that need additional resources, not need to be murdered. What the Black Lives Matter guy, what his solution is, instead of looking at mental illness as something that is a public health crisis in America, let's just kill a bunch of white people. Let me add, killing a bunch of white people, not a good idea, because if we put together a black army in America, what are we going to get? Well, how many soldiers are we going to get, y'all? A good, maybe 7 million? Maybe 7 million black people. We could have put through the rigors of military training and survival skills. We'd have 7 million soldiers. Now, let's be clear. 7 million soldiers is larger than the civilian U.S. armed forces all combined, okay? But if white folks put together an army, they'd have 70 million. We're outnumbered. All right, let's take a break, come back, and we're going to talk to, got a couple of doozies. Well, Lori might be normal. Is Lori normal? Okay. And then you have someone who is, well, let's just say you got to stick around to find out. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Backed by popular demand, Shawnee's Exquisite Catering is once again taking your holiday gathering to the next level. And not only are they bringing back their traditional holiday meals, but they're adding something new and just as delicious: seafood dressing. And of course, they'll have their family meal deal. Book now for fresh, flavorful dishes that will make your holiday season unforgettable. Pickup and delivery is available as well, so all you have to do is enjoy your holiday. Contact Shawnee's Exquisite Catering at 414-216-3469. Happy holidays.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Telly Hughes with his truth.
I want to stress the importance of a positive mindset. Everything begins as a thought before it ever becomes an action. So it's extremely important to purposely place yourself in positive spaces to help shape and nurture those thoughts. I know you're probably thinking, okay, Telly, let's be realistic. Look, I get it. You may work with people with bad energy, or you may even be related to people who are negative by nature. In this journey called life, there will be many things that come your way that's out of your control. But what you can control is how you respond. Understand this. You have the right to either tap in or tap out of whatever energy that may come your way. And that's how you can control and protect your positive spaces. The mind is where it all starts. And if your thoughts are centered around positivity, you'll see how things begin to transform. You'll see a noticeable difference between things happening for you versus things always happening to you. You begin to grow through situations as opposed to just going through tough situations. Make it a priority to surround yourself with positive people and create those positive spaces and begin to experience the fruits of what a positive mindset can produce. Trust me, it takes work to creating these spaces, and you have to be intentional about it. And I'm committed to putting in the work because I'm living proof that it's well worth the peace a positive mindset brings.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to Truth Be Told with Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Dream overland, my soul is from.
Let's go to the phone line, shall we? Let's talk to Lori. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you, Lori?
Hi. I'm doing great. I didn't expect to be on the air, but I wanted to tell you, Sherman, that I have what type of
Sherwin. Sherwin.
I'm sorry. Sherwin. Okay. Thank you for correcting me. I found you guys when I drive down to Milwaukee on my job, and I don't agree with everything, but I love knowing about the Black community culture. What fascinated me was my curiosity, and I fortunately can't get into it because we just pulled up to my work, but I couldn't understand why so many women were voting for Harris. And that curiosity is what got me. But just
hang on 1 second, Lori. Hold on, just so I understand this clearly. You can't understand why so many women were voting for Kamala Harris, who is also a woman who would have been the first woman president, who also vowed to protect reproductive rights and women's ability to make their own health care decisions about their bodies. You were confused why women would vote for her?
I want to know why so many women weren't seeing what I was feeling in my intuition and her pattern. And now,
Lori, where are you from?
Okay.
Where are you from that you don't have Black people?
No, I do. Green Bay, and I have immersed myself in other cultures. I'm a widow to a husband who was Hispanic, so I've been in the Latin community. I saw things from the other side. On Kamala, and I have to say, I'm sorry if I'm on the air, but I've got to go because my coworkers are here. I'm a driver, and they're all getting in the car, and I didn't know I'd be on the air. But can I call you back sometime, and I will talk more?
Oh, God, hell yeah. So your coworkers are in the car right now?
There's starting to be, yes. I've got Steve loading license plates, and Randy. Randy used to be in radio, and then I've got Tom. So I'm a hub driver. We deliver cars that have been purchased or rented.
Oh, okay. Are they Trumpers too, Lori? Are you going to be in a car full of Trumpers? Are they also Donald Trump supporters?
You know, I don't know if they all are.
Are they white?
I don't think. Yeah, we're all white. But they didn't ask to be on this, and I have to respect them and tell them.
Okay. Call us back, Lori. I got a lot I need to ask you.
Oh, I'll call you on my way back to Green Bay. How's that?
Well, I go off the air at at noon. So if you call after that, ain't no telling what you might get.
No, that's okay. How about if I call next time I'm down in Milwaukee? I usually at the Waukesha 2-3 times a week.
Download our 1017 The Truth app, and you can take us with you wherever you go. So we look forward to hearing from you again, Lori.
Okay, thank you for taking my call. I didn't expect it.
Oh,
you have a great day. Talk to you soon.
All right,
Bye.
Lori. Bye-bye. See, Lori is probably used to conservative talk radio where they screen. And if you don't meet whatever their screening requirements are, you don't get on the line. You don't get on with the hosts. But because our screening requirements with Black Talk Radio, this is what white folks do not understand. Your best callers are the ones that y'all don't let through. I want to be challenged. I want to hear opinions I'm not ready for. They don't want to be challenged. They don't want to hear opinions that don't fit in with theirs. We take calls from everybody. That's why she said this. One or two things happens, right? It's, oh my, I didn't expect to be put on the air. That's the first thing they'll say. And the next thing they'll say is, I'm a white person, just so you know. Like we don't know. Because they know that they don't expect to be put on the air with a black host because they're white. We'll take all of you. You want an example of how we take all the calls? Watch this. You ready? Hi, Andy. How are you?
Professor Hughes. No, listen, you got a potential convert in Lori, I'll tell you that much. And she's kind of reminded me of Larry, the way she's talking about patterns and feelings as a medieval mind. But and what I didn't think I was going to talk about this, but you're right about conservative talk radio. It's essentially a bunch of older white men. They're complaining. If they could hear themselves, they'd be ashamed. I don't think they listen to their own programs. It's pathetic. And I don't want to quibble, and I don't want to derail, but when you read about Luigi and the way the media, the line that I'm hearing and the line that you read was that he is a strong person of interest, and I think they've got it wrong. I think grammatically that's incorrect. Because when they say that, I think about a strong person who is of interest. I don't know that Luigi is. It's more that it is a person of strong interest. If you see what I'm trying to say, and I think they've got it all cattywampus on that one.
That's just semantics. I think that when I hear a strong person of interest, that means that strong is the adjective modifying the interest. There is evidence, there is information that leads authorities to believe strongly that this individual is of interest as it pertains to this particular case in question.
I think their copywriters or editors are just not that good. Because a strong person of interest is confusing, and I would rather the public not have any more reason to be more confused than it already is. It's all topsy-turvy. And I know that's not really that important. It really struck me.
Okay.
But, okay. Well, I always enjoy your show. I don't have as much time now to call, but...
Because you have your own radio show now.
No, that's nothing. That's 1 hour a week. No, I got a new job, and
doing what?
So now I am. I can talk about it now. Mother's at church, and she wouldn't be happy, but I'm doing video for a Baptist ministry, and she's a Catholic, and that's like. I'll tell you what, that's not chocolate and peanut butter, the Baptists and the Catholics. So, well, you got to make your money where you can, of course.
Yep, doing video work for the Baptists. Do what you got to do.
For the Baptists.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you stop down tonight?
No.
At the station.
Hell, no. Can't do that.
4 o'clock, Professor Hughes.
No, I can't do that.
But you could just for a minute though.
No, I can't. I'm busy. What time did you say to stop down?
4. Well, if you came at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm busy.
That
at
would
4.
be perfect.
Yeah, I'm not available till 5.
4. Oh, I've done it 5.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we'll maybe try some other time.
Sure, we will. We'll try. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Hughes.
Okay, then. All right, Andy. Thanks. Thank you. So I'm busy whenever he requests me to go somewhere, but I'm only busy for the time he's requesting. Other than that, I'm available. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 on your FM dial. If you're like Lori or other people, you can download the free 101.7 The Truth app, and you can take us with you wherever you go. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year, 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Milwaukee Health Services Incorporated is celebrating 35 years of serving all income and medically underserved populations of Milwaukee's metropolitan area. MHSI is a one-stop shop that provides medical, radiology, dental, pediatric, behavioral health, pharmacies with affordable medications, and more. Also, MHSI's new family medicine residency program, located at the Isaac Cogg's Heritage Health Center, has brought 28 family doctors to our area, which is significantly impacted by healthcare workforce shortages. Become a new patient today. To schedule an appointment, call 414-372-8080. Your health is their business. Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl, Noni Juice, here from my friends at Steinhafels. There's nothing better than a great night's sleep on a Tempur-Pedic mattress from Steinhafels. Discover the advanced, pressure-relieving power of a Tempur-Pedic, making aches and pains a thing of the past. Right now, Queen Tempur-Pedics start at just $52 per month when you use Steinhafels' 60-month special financing. Plus, you get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Don't overpay for a good night's sleep. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com.
Bikerfest MKE, where everyone has a place on the road. Bikerfest MKE is a non-profit dedicated to making the motorcycle industry more inclusive and accessible for all. Their programs empower youth with hands-on experiences in STEM, mechanics, and flat track racing through mentorship and real-world skills, preparing the next generation of riders, racers, and builders, giving underrepresented youth the tools to thrive. Join Bikerfest MKE to help build a more inclusive motorcycle community. Visit bikerfestmke.org today.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, we have big news. Mark your calendars for Friday, February 28th, as we will be hosting our first ever and first annual Truth Community Awards, celebrating individuals making a real difference in our city. We will honor the excellence in our community and recognize the quiet warriors creating extraordinary impact. Tickets go on sale soon, and you do not want to miss this night of inspiration and celebration. Come celebrate with us on Friday, February 28th at the Truth Community Awards presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Truth Nation, we have teamed up once again with Associated Bank for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 Black businesses. Visit blackbusinessgiveback.com to sign up. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. I thought our community's backbone was already strong. But all right. You like how I did that, Rick, with the little bumper music? But look, I can turn it up. Or I can turn it down. I feel like a real DJ.
You know, you've been talking to me all day. You know that?
I wouldn't say all day.
For the whole 3 hours.
5 minutes tops, maybe.
And I've just been trying to work and let you be the best person you could possibly be on the airwaves because you are the best, Sherwin.
I know.
So leave me alone so I can work.
I'm the best. But I don't even need to tell myself that.
You all right.
A little better than that.
You all right.
All right. All right, who's better? No, I want to hear who is. No, honestly, and you will not hurt my feelings.
Dr. Ken.
Who is the better at what? What is he better at? What is he? I'll just do Dr. Ken show. Well, you know, I was really angry. I was driving in, and why do people drive their cars? I don't understand why they drive. I'm driving in, and I didn't like it. You know what? Really, Kyle? Really? You always blaming Kyle for stuff, even when Kyle ain't at fault. The criminal complaint against Mangione from New York alleges Mangione presented the same false identification to Pennsylvania officers that was given to a hostel he reportedly stayed in New York City, and was found with written admissions about the crime, though no further details are given in the complaint. Do you guys find that odd? That this man, Luigi Mangione, who is a strong person of interest in the murder of Brian Thompson, the former CEO of United Healthcare, that he gets caught near Altoona, Pennsylvania, at a McDonald's, found not wearing, but on his person, similar clothes that he was seen wearing in the surveillance footage of the alleged murder. They found a quote-unquote manifesto explaining the crime, and they also found the gun. Doesn't that just sound a little bit unusual for someone who painstakingly planned a murder and basically got away with it? You know how he got caught? He pulled his mask down because apparently he was flirting with a woman, and she asked him to pull his mask down so she could see his face. You guys remember during COVID when we all were masked up? I remember a new complaint that women were having. Men who, it was hard for a lot of us to get used to the mask for a number of reasons, because we as human beings, I don't know if we quite realize this until the masking requirement, we communicate with one another non-verbally with our faces. And it's hard to tell if someone is, because I can't tell if somebody is smiling underneath the mask or if they're frowning or whatever. You can only see their eyes. And the eyes don't tell the entire story. And a lot of women would complain that men did not stop hitting on women during the pandemic. In fact, a lot of us risked life and limb to still flirt with and enjoy the company of the opposite sex during COVID. It was a lonely time, you see. Women will complain that men would ask women to pull their masks down so that we could see their faces, which a lot of women certainly weren't going to do because obviously we had a public health crisis going on. But also I come to find out a lot of you women weren't wearing makeup and you didn't want to expose that grill with no makeup on it. Because here's what I come to find out. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but here we go. A woman who is all decked out with the makeup on and the eyeshadow and the eyeliner and the mascara and the concealer and the stuff that they put on. That's a very nice, very feminine, very dainty, demure woman. Oh, hello. Hi, Sherwin. I'm wearing my makeup. Oh, hello. And she got her makeup on and the eye makeup on. She got her lipstick on, the red lipstick. Oh, hello, Sherwin. How are you? I'm a lady. I have my makeup on. But that same woman who is very feminine and very demure with her makeup on, when she doesn't have her makeup on, you know what she sounds like? She sounds like this. I'm not... You damn kids, get in here. I'm tired of telling you. That's what they... So a lot of women didn't want to reveal their faces without makeups because their voices change. But this guy pulls his mask down because a woman asked him to, and that's how he got caught. Not that I was rooting for this guy to get away, because murder is bad. Even... if it's the murder of someone who is the CEO of an institution whose motivation is more profit than the health, well-being, and welfare of the people that are its subscribers, those that are insured. I'm just saying, it's murder. You don't kill people, apparently. You don't, unless they live in a country that we don't like. Then you can kill everybody, right? But if it's someone who is a part of an institution that we know is harming a lot of Americans with a cold callousness and inhumane way of hurting people and denying them, and not even having the courage to deny somebody with another human being that can explain things to them. We come to find out that United Healthcare was using artificial intelligence to arbitrarily deny people's claims, which sometimes can have tremendous risks to someone's health, including their life itself. So you can't kill people, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me, no matter how mad you get, you can't kill people. So that's not the answer. Violence is not the answer. Violence is more of a question with no answer. So if you're mad at somebody or mad at an institution, talk it out. Have a sit-down meeting, or get Jenna Ray from TMJ4 to ambush them. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Jamming with Juice is up next.
1017 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away